You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A dramatic Wednesday with episodes of Gangbusters, Calling All Cars, Escape, Harry Bartell and the Finger of Doom, The Adventures of Frank Merriwell starring Lawson Zerbe, and an episode of Lum and Abner. That's all straight ahead on this Wednesday, the 19th day of March, the 78th day of the year, 287 days remaining, and this is the last day of the winter season up here in the Northern Hemisphere. If you're down south, it's the end of summer. Citibank of New York became the site of the first bank robbery on this date in 1831 in the U.S. $245,000 taken. That'd be almost $7 million today. Congress establishing time zones and approved daylight saving time back on this date in 1918. Gambling legalized in Nevada on this date in 1931. I've said this before, that Nevada is so much more than gambling these days. And if you don't know what, go take a look at elinevada.net. You'll figure it out. The 99th Pursuit Squadron, also known as the Tuskegee Airmen, the first all-black unit of the Army Air Corps, activated on this date in 1941. In 1945, Hitler issued his Nero decree, ordering all industries, military installations, shops, transportation facilities, and communications facilities in Germany be destroyed. Academy Awards first televised on this date in 1953. We mentioned that, I believe, yesterday in the podcast, that NBC did it, and we told you about who won. Bob Dylan releasing his first self-titled album on this date in 1962, and the House of Representatives began broadcasting its day-to-day business via the cable television network C-SPAN.
Solution for the lack of confidence in government, Mr. Speaker, is more open government at all levels. I hope, for example, that the leadership of the United States Senate will see this as a friendly challenge to begin to open their proceedings.
The gentleman's time has expired.
That was the first speaker viewed on C-SPAN, then Congressman Al Gore of Tennessee. In 1982, Argentinians landed on South Georgia Island, precipitating the Falklands War. A royal engagement on this date in 1986.
LBC News, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson are engaged. Buckingham Palace has announced the news. The statement from the palace reads, "It is with the greatest of pleasure that the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh announce the betrothal of their beloved son Prince Andrew to Miss Sarah Ferguson, daughter of Major Ronald Ferguson and Mrs. Hector Barantes."
Later, Prince Andrew told the media how it happened.
I asked Sarah some weeks ago, and Sarah actually said yes, which surprised me.
Sadly, the royal marriage didn't last as they separated in 1992 and divorced in 1996. A scandal came to a head on this date in 1987 as Jim Bakker resigned from the PTL Club. His wife and co-host on the PTL Club show, Tammy Faye Bakker, spoke to viewers.
We'd just like to tell the people that we really love them. We're very sad right now. We're going to miss them. Jim will be back soon, and he's going to give everyone a statement. He'll be back very soon, and he'll come back and explain our side of what happened. And that won't be too long from now, and so I just want to thank everyone for being patient with us.
Between money woes with Bakker's Heritage USA theme park and a sex scandal involving church secretary Jessica Hahn, Bakker had no choice. Televangelist Jerry Falwell took over operations of the PTL Club and condemned Bakker.
He needs to come clean about Jessica Hahn and repent. That little girl, 19, 20 years of age, in my opinion, was injured for life by that terrible travesty in Florida. He needs to come forward and say, yes, I did it. And I've asked God's forgiveness. He needs to say to Jessica, please forgive me. That's the Christian approach.
And almost 40 years later, Bakker remarried and back on TV. Tammy Faye Bakker passed away a number of years ago. Well, after a stint as a minor league baseball player, Michael Jordan returned to pro basketball on this date in 1995, rejoining his old team, the Chicago Bulls.
Once I stepped on the floor, I really felt good. I felt very confident of being out there. I wasn't nervous at all.
Jordan then would retire again, but like a lot of pro wrestlers who retire, he came back for 2 seasons with the Washington Wizards, finally retiring for good in 2003. In 2002, Operation Anaconda ended after killing 500 Taliban and al-Qaeda fighters with 11 Allied troop fatalities in Afghanistan. And in 2003, President Bush announced the start of the military campaign against Iraq shortly afterwards in a televised address from the White House.
On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war.
The strike was called a decapitation attack aimed at Iraqi President Saddam Hussein and other top members of the country's leadership. In 2011, after the failure of Muammar Gaddafi's forces to take Benghazi, French Air Force launched Operation Harmattan, beginning foreign military intervention in Libya. And in 2013, a series of bombings and shootings killed at least 98 people and injured 240 others across Iraq. Passing away on this date in history, author Edgar Rice Burroughs, actor Edward Platt, the chief in Get Smart, also automaker John DeLorean, Larry Bud Melman on The Letterman Show, Calvert DeForest, also Luther Ingram, fine soul singer, science fiction novelist Arthur C. Clarke, and the man who founded the Westboro Baptist Church, Fred Phelps. And I have a Fred Phelps story. I'm afraid I'd offend somebody if I told it, but it was one of my high school classmates was... Phelps also sold insurance at one point in time, and went to their home, and I'm going to offend somebody, but Phelps invited the little girl up on his lap. She was just wearing a diaper at the time. She's very, very young, and of course we did that back in the 50s and 60s. When we were little and it was summertime, you'd wander around the house in just your diaper. And climbed up on Phelps's lap and sitting there being bounced on his knee. And it was number 1 time. And the diaper didn't really hold very well. And I still to this day believe nobody deserved it more than Fred Phelps. Okay, birthdays on this, Phelps dying on this date in 2014. Birthdays on this date include Wyatt Earp, who I am indirectly named after. I think I've told this story before too. That I was sort of named after Wyatt Earp. I was really named after Hugh O'Brien because he was playing Wyatt Earp on TV, and my mom admitted one time she had a crush on him, and that's why I was named Wyatt, because we lived in Kansas, and Wyatt Earp, big Western thing. So yeah, indirectly I'm named after Wyatt Earp. Mom's Mabley, wonderful comedian, born on this date. Wyatt Earp, born on this date back in 1848. Mod Squad's Teague Andrews, born on this date. Lorelei Brown in My Favorite Martian. Pamela Britton. Actor Patrick McGowan. Also the author of Goodbye Columbus and Portnoy's Complaint, Philip Roth, born on this date. And last year we lost the Frogman, Clarence Frogman Henry. Ain't Got No Home, and I Don't Know Why I Love You, but I Do. Rush Limbaugh gave his career a second life. He really did. Frogman Henry, dying last year at the age of 87, and he was still performing. He was born on this date back in 1937.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Fran Drescher's mom in The Nanny, Renee Taylor, 92 years old today. Actress Ursula Andress, 89. Sirhan Sirhan is 81 years old today. The Pointer Sisters' Ruth Pointer is 79. From Fatal Attraction, Glenn Close is 78.
You're attracted to each other at the party. That was obvious. You're on your own for the night. That's also obvious.
Glenn Close, 78 years old today. We also pray today for the actor from Die Hard, Bruce Willis, who is 70.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
From Die Hard, Bruce Willis, 70 years old today, suffering from dementia, and it's a horrible way to go. God love him. Bruce Willis, 70 today. Depending in the WWE, he was Evan Bourne. In AEW and other places in wrestling, he's Matt Sydal. He's 42 years old today. And speaking of wrestlers, the wife of CM Punk, AJ Lee, 38 years old today. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 19th day of March as their birthday. And if this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say... Happy birthday to you!
By the way, I want to warn our YouTube listeners, there's a couple things I'm going to play tomorrow that will probably get blocked because YouTube doesn't like it when I play musical selections. And tomorrow is Vera Lynn's birthday, and I have a wonderful interview that was done back in 2010 when she was 93, and you got to hear this. It's wonderful stuff. We'll play that tomorrow. But if you're listening on YouTube, YouTube will probably block it, so you'll have to go to classicradio.stream to listen. Shouldn't have a problem other places. In fact, there are some... Normally, I'm trying to get away from playing the musical pieces on the show because YouTube just has a conniption, and we've got a number of you that listen on YouTube. So I want to make sure you're just warned about that. If the show doesn't show up, you'll know why. Alrighty, let's get started here with this Wednesday program in just a moment. We'll go back 70 years to March 19th, 1955, an episode of Gangbusters.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The National Safety Council reports that highway accidents are being reduced and lives being saved. But accidents are still a national problem. The major causes of traffic casualties are speed, drink, and carelessness. Driving too fast for road conditions is one of the most common causes of traffic accidents. Next to speed, driving on the wrong side of the road was reported as the most frequent driver violation of common sense in the safety laws. And 1/4 of the fatal accidents involve a driver or pedestrian who's been drinking. Take the responsibility on yourself and urge safety precautions in your community. Every motorist and every pedestrian should obey traffic signs and signals. Never drive after drinking. Never drive on the wrong side of the road. Watch for warnings on grade crossings. Be alert and careful every moment you're behind the wheel. Remember, the life you save may be your own.
All right, now we go back 70 years, March 19th, 1955. The Phillips H. Lord's program that started out all about the FBI and G-Men long before This Is Your FBI or the FBI in Peace and War. Peace and War. It was originally G-Men. J. Edgar Hoover didn't like it was so noisy. He wanted to be more thoughtful. And so G-Men became Gangbusters. And that's what this is, Gangbusters and the Case of the Reckless Ride.
And now, in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States, Gangbusters!
Scar over left eye and scar center of forehead. More to follow on Gangbusters Clues.
Gangbusters, the only national program that brings you authentic police case histories, has asked Captain Glenn Shirley, Police Department, Stillwater, Oklahoma, to narrate by proxy tonight's case. Captain Shirley.
In an average criminal case, Gangbusters listeners, much of the police officer's work is over when he makes his arrest. The case of Harold Kopan and Edward Robb, however, is far from average, and arresting them proved only the start of a story of violence and bloodshed. It begins on March 22nd, late at night, on the main highway leading from Tulsa to Oklahoma City. I'll say one thing, Ed. Sure ain't cold like it was further north, huh? If we keep heading south, it'll get warmer. Maybe too warm. How do you mean? It'll be daylight in another couple of hours. We can't drive this crate through Oklahoma City. So what? We ditch it and swipe another, same as we've been doing. Yeah, I guess so. Either that or hop a train. Maybe a train. Smarter. Look up ahead, standing there on the road. On the right? Looks like a dame. It is. Think she'd like a ride, Harry? Like I was saying, it's a nice warm night. A girl like that might turn out to be real good company. Want a ride?
I sure do.
Hop in.
Thanks. You know it's cold out there.
Well, we believe what you're saying is warm.
You haven't got anything to make it warmer, have you?
Such as what?
A little drink, maybe?
Give her a pull on the bottle, Harry. Sure. Here, help yourself.
Thanks, I need it.
You do pretty good with that bottle.
Practice.
What's your name?
Ellie. That's enough, I guess. Just Ellie. Okay, take another drink?
Sure, help yourself.
Thanks. Now I'm beginning to feel like myself again.
How far are you going, Ellie?
Just as far as you are. That okay?
Baby, that's fine.
Meet the arrangement down where the bluegrass grows. Your lips were sweeter than julep when you wore a tulip, and I wore a big red rose.
You boys got me more bottles?
No, not a one.
You sure? You want to lie, little old Ellie?
Ed, we got any more bottles? Nope, all gone.
Maybe we should stop.
Stop. What for?
Bottle.
Hey, you know, that's a great idea. Ed, boy, do you hear? Can't.
Can't stop? Why not? I thought you said we'd have fun.
Ed's right. No, we can't stop.
Why not? You afraid of something?
Me and Ed, we ain't afraid of nothing.
Yeah, it won't stop or anything.
Well, the man said we can't stop. That means we can't stop. That's all.
You didn't promise me.
Shut up a minute. Huh? Listen. Behind us.
Sounds like a siren.
Ed, it is.
You mean the police?
Ed, get going. I am.
You gonna race them?
We sure are. Hang on, baby. This may be some ride. Back. I think they're closer.
This is fun, you know? Fun.
And hit that curve. I'm not sure.
Hey, watch it. This is a curve.
Ed, turn. I'm trying. Ed, turn it right the wind. Hang on. A wild ride in the night in a stolen car, a crash, and this might have been the end of the case of Harold Kopan and Edward Robb, gangbusters listeners. No one was seriously hurt in the crash, and officers on the scene quickly took the men and the girl into custody. Within a few hours, they were lodged in jail in Oklahoma City, and there stayed awaiting trial.
I'll call when I want you to let me out, Ed. Morning. I'm one of the deputy marshals. Robb Pitt. Well, now, Mr. Kopan, that's no way to talk first thing in the morning. How about you, fella? You still feel mean, too? Open the door, wise guy. You'll find out. It's too bad. I came all the way down here to bring you some news, too. Deputy. Seems to me you might want to hear about your girlfriend. That's, the DA's letting her go. It's not going to hold her at all. Even got her job in town. No big of them. Yes, he figures just a little girl got in the wrong company, that's all. Bad company. Okay, we heard the news. Now blow. The turnkey says you boys have been giving him a rough time down here. Worst 3 weeks he's ever had. Blow. Don't pay to raise a fuss in the cell, boys. I see you had to put the cuffs on you. We heard you. Now scram. I guess you know your trial's coming up this morning, boys. Ought to be a quick one. Maybe. Yeah, it appears you two have been raising Cain all the way from up north. Yes, sir. Mighty speedy drive. I figure maybe 7 years. 7 for sure. Okay, so it's 7. They tell me you don't like that idea. They tell me you've been bragging about how you'll never serve a day. Is that right? You think we will? I know you will. Right after that trial, you know what my job is? Who cares? I'm going to drive you boys over to Leavenworth, Kansas. They got a nice pen over there, you know. You don't say. Mm-hmm. Real cozy. They know just how to treat rough boys like you. Good. That's right. So I'd better drop in, get acquainted with my passengers. Want to take a bet on something, look? I might. It's a good bet. You drive, see? And I tell you, we'll never get to Leavenworth. Oh, you think that, do you? Yeah, we do, yeah. Well, boys, we'll see. That's all I gotta say. We'll see. I'm coming out, Ed. Me and the boys had a nice, long talk. Now, come in. You sent me? Yeah, come in, Al. Have a chair. Yeah, thank you.
I
guess you know what's on my mind.
Kopan and Robb.
That's right. Have you heard about them?
Well, Ed was telling me they're still raising the roof in their cell.
Toughest prisoners we've had in years.
Ed can handle them.
He has. Now it's our turn.
Oh?
Yeah, they drew 7 years apiece in court this morning. I'm driving them up to Leavenworth.
You said our turn, Ken.
Well, if you don't want to make the trip with me, Al, you don't have to. Not that you're seniority around here.
That's all right with me.
Well, think now before you say yes. They've both sworn they won't serve time.
Well, I've heard that before.
And they're tough. You know that, real tough.
So?
Still want to make the trip with me?
When do we go?
Ed. Hey, Ed. Wake up, come on. What's the matter? Keep your voice down. Just want to tell you something. What time is it? It's almost morning. I figure this is the day we make the trip. Oh, yeah. Listen to me, Ed. You listen real hard now. Sure, Harry. I heard about Leavenworth. It ain't good. I know. All right, now think hard, Ed. Would you take a chance to duck this rap? Sure. I mean, a big chance. Now think. Yeah, I gotta know how you feel. Chance like what? Like, maybe not making it. What do we lose? You don't get it. We either break out or maybe we get killed. Good plan? I got the start of one. Light a match once. Now, go ahead. I'll show you something. I don't know. I got matches. Light it. Look at my hand. What? Hey. Yeah, that's a big lock. One of the best. With this little baby, they don't make a lock I can't open. You keep it past the search. Never mind, I did. Now, give me your answer. Should I use this today or not? In the car. You'll have to leave it to me. Whenever I see the break, I use it, okay? Okay, and once we start, we finish. Right? All right, good. Now get some sleep. This is going to be a big day.
All right, boys. A slow walk now, right up here to the car.
Maybe you'd like us to crawl.
That's far enough. Stop right here.
Big guys, huh, Harry? Tough.
You'll see how tough. Al, you got those belts?
I got them, Ken.
All right, one on each. Around the middle, buckle in back and tight.
Yeah. Hold still, then.
What do you know? A new wardrobe, huh?
Yeah, just a little idea of my own, boys. They good and tight, Al?
Just a second. All right. All set.
All right, now take those chains, loop them through their wrist cuffs, and snap them on the belts. You got that?
What are you trying to do?
Win my bet, remember? Do the cuffs on their wrists, Al, then snap them on the belt.
Looks like Ken and Al don't trust us, eh? Yeah. Chains, cuffs, even got guns, too.
Yeah,
big man.
Yeah, big enough, I think. All done enough.
Yeah, they're really trussed up.
And that's the way I want them. Okay, boys, in the back seat.
Both of us?
That's right. Make yourselves nice and comfortable. It's a long ride.
You don't know how long, Ken.
I think I do. In, both of you.
I look okay to me, Ken.
All right, I'll drive Al. You hop in here.
You know something, Ed? I think these monkeys are scared. Or born scared.
Comfortable, gentlemen?
Like a baby's crib. Yeah.
We'll move out, Al.
Main road?
Yes, sir, all the way to Leavenworth.
Hey, Ken.
Something's wrong?
About that bet.
Yeah, did I tell you, Al? These boys want to bet we won't get there.
Oh?
What about it, Robb?
Nothing. Just wanted to remind you. The bet still goes.
Pretty country along in here.
I got a friend who's a farm over those hills. Nice place.
Good soil, too. You boys ever do any farming? Guess our passengers don't like our company, Al. They won't talk.
If getting into wheat country pretty quick.
Yeah, well, that's my idea. You know, when I retire from the force, get me a nice little place. Not too big, maybe about 160 acres, and raise wheat.
That'd be nice.
And land like this might be cheap, too. Looks swampy over there to the left.
Well, I guess you got to take the good with the bad.
Yes, a nice little wheat farm, about 160 acres.
Reach.
Ken, take him in. I got Ken. Oh, you don't. Give me that gun. Your hands on the wheel, boy. You move, we'll kill you.
Reach, I said you.
Now, look out. He's got my gun. Now, he's reaching for nothing.
I see him, the stinking...
Ken, shut up and grab the wheel.
I'm here.
Car's going off the road. Hurry, look out. We're going over the shoulder. Grab that wheel, you monkey. Now, Corporal Parry, grab it.
What happened to him? Take a look at it.
Must have hit his head when we took that bump. He's out like a light.
All right. We dump them both, then. Give me a hand.
Yeah.
Go ahead, shove him.
Yeah. Push. Yeah. How's that one?
What do you mean, how? He's dead. Shove him over here.
Gonna knock this one off, too.
What for? He's peaceful.
Yeah. That's it, Al, boy.
Out you go.
Now what, Harry? What do we do now?
We're going and fast. You drive.
Yeah, but where? I don't even know where we are. You don't either. There'll be roadblocks. We got to hit back roads.
Watch it. It's a truck.
Don't worry, we still got guns.
Having trouble, fellas?
Harry,
listen. He's our answer, and he's alone. He knows the back roads. He must. Yeah, can you give us a hand?
Yeah, sure can. Lose control on the curve, did you? Lots of folks up here that... What the...
Okay, big boy. Hop in this car.
This guy's on the ground. One of them's bleeding.
One of them's dead, Sonny. You want to get dead, too?
No.
Then hop in, boy. You're going to drive.
Oh, look, please. I just stopped to see if I could help.
You can. Drive.
Over 100,000 crippled children, and many more adults also afflicted, benefit when you buy Easter seals. Between now and Easter Sunday, an intensive mailing campaign will send Easter seals into 32 million American homes. Send a donation in response to this mailing. You will help ensure costly treatment needed by crippled children and adults, and help pay the costs of research aimed at curing victims of ailments about which all too little is known today. Buy Easter seals, please. Back to Gangbusters and Captain Glenn Shirley of the Stillwater, Oklahoma Police Department.
The dead body of Ken Eldon was dumped near the road, and his partner, Al, lay unconscious beside him, Gangbusters listeners. With truck driver Jack Overly held captive at the wheel, the death car sped on. An hour passed, then 2. And finally, late in the afternoon, the car was reported abandoned some 20 miles from where Eldon was murdered. Local, state, and federal officers converged on the car, and acting for the FBI, Agents Robert Martin and Tom Andrews took charge. They set up a command post near the abandoned car from which they could direct the search.
That girl just arrived, Bob. I brought her out in the sheriff's car.
We'll talk to her a little later on, Tom. Did the ambulance leave to take Eldon's body back to town?
Yeah, he was shot 5 times with his own gun. The other one's got a concussion, the ambulance doc thinks.
Still don't get it. They were handcuffed, tied to belts around their waists.
That beats me. What happened with the truck driver seems clear enough, though. He must have stopped to help and they grabbed him.
The company reported back. His name's Jack Overly.
You want to talk to the girl?
Yeah, might as well.
Sergeant, bring her over here, will you?
What do you want me for? You let me go weeks ago.
You're not under arrest, Miss Barnston. We're just asking you to help us. Sorry to bring you out here, but we haven't much time.
Help you? Me?
You know what's happened, Miss Barnston? These men you knew have escaped.
That don't surprise me.
They've already killed one officer. As near as we can figure, they've taken the driver of a truck with them as a hostage. A perfectly innocent man.
So?
From what we can figure, they went into those woods in the Barnston over there.
They look big.
They are big. Now, if you can tell us anything about these men, anything at all.
Why?
Because they've got a hostage in those woods. Are they the kind who might panic and shoot him, too?
Look, I'm not their mother or something. I was hitchhiking and they picked me up.
You must know something to help us, Miss Boston.
You know one thing, all right.
What?
They're tough.
Will you tell me something?
Maybe. You sleep, Harry? I'm awake. Jack here wants to ask a question. Go ahead.
How long we been sitting in the woods now? 25 hours? 26?
What of it?
You guys just gonna make me sit here forever?
We got plans.
Oh.
You heard him, sure we have. You crack wise some more, we'll blow your head off.
If you fire a shot, it'll make noise.
Listen to our bright boy. We can beat it off, wise guy.
Ed.
What?
Lay off arguing with him.
You think you can find any water? I look, Terry. You don't want me to go too far, do you?
Nice cool drink would go good, huh, fella?
Shut up. You look good. As much as I dared, Harry. There isn't any.
Too bad there isn't a spring. A nice, cool spring full of water.
Shut up! You want to die? Shut up!
Hold it down, men. I'm going to try to reach Martin on the walkie-talkie. Andrews, calling Martin. Andrews, calling Martin. You read me, Bob?
I read you, Tom. I'm with the posse on the north end of the woods.
How many men?
Over 75 in this unit. There's another full unit coming in from the west.
All right. We're 60 here and moving in. How about the dogs?
2 teams on the way. Are you using dogs?
We're using everything we've got. National Guards are riding at 6 and they're putting planes in the air.
Good.
Oh, something better be good. I've been in these woods 2 days and 2 nights, Bob. It's got to break soon. Anything else?
I'll check back on the quarter hour, okay?
Check. Over.
Over.
Hey, Mac. Lend a hand to those dogs, will you? Bring the whole pack up here in the lead.
Harry, I'm cold, clean throat. I'm trying to listen.
Yeah, I hear him, too.
You keep your trap shut. Hear what? Just listen. Sounds like dogs.
They are. Bloodhounds. I hunt with them myself.
Is he kidding?
Well, hear them for yourself. Those dogs can find anything.
Harry, you know he's right. Dogs are hunters, you know. They think
Shut up.
Will you look for some water? I did. There ain't any, I tell you. It's not. I told you there's no water anywhere. Look, I'm going nuts, I tell you. 2 days without water. You want to die?
You thirsty, Harry?
Shut up!
2 days is a long time, huh, Harry? Want to give up and walk in?
No.
You want to give up, Harry? You know, they're on all sides of the woods by now. You want to quit?
No.
All right, suit yourself. 2 days going on 3. That's a long time.
Martin calling Andrews. Come in, Tom. Come in.
I read you, Bob. What's your position?
We're flying at 800 feet directly north of the Western Command Post. I think we spotted something, Tom.
Let's have the bearings.
On your map, Sector 9, intersection of lines 21 and D for David. Repeat, Sector 9, point 21 and D for David.
Got you.
It may be another phony, but it looks like something from here.
We'll move in, Bob. Landing contacted.
Check. We'll start in for a landing at that north airstrip now.
Harry, they're coming closer. I know they are. I got half a drink. Harry, think, will you? First the plane, now the dogs. They're getting closer, Harry. Throat is like on fire.
You want to give me your guns? I can lead you in, boys.
Harry, listen to those dogs.
I'll shoot you down if you're holding that gun, Harry. I'm telling you.
Harry, he's right.
I'll have water, Harry. Nice, clean, cold water. All you want.
Kopan!
Harry, they're coming. It's worth it for a drink, Harry. Come on, hand me your guns.
Kopan! Robb! We know you're in there. You haven't got a chance.
Harry, do something. Hey, Jack.
Yeah?
You win. Here. Take the guns. Don't let him shoot. They won't want to hurt you.
Now you're making sense.
Mine too, Harry. Give it to him.
Good. All right, boys, just line right where you are.
Ask him for water.
This is Overly. Don't shoot. I have their guns.
Overly?
I have their guns. Don't shoot.
Overly, you okay?
Well, we're all alive.
Shoot in the air, Tom. Give him the signal.
Give me a drink.
We'll get stretchers, man. Don't try to walk.
I'll be all right. Oh,
Yes?
if you got a canteen, you better give those men a drink.
I'm glad to report, Gangbusters listeners, that both Robb and Kopan were quickly brought to trial, and both were sentenced to imprisonment in the federal penitentiary for the rest of their lives.
Thank you, Captain Glenn Shirley of the Stillwater, Oklahoma Police Department. And now, Gangbusters Nationwide Clues, broadcast every week to assist American police in their war against the underworld. Attention all citizens. Elmer Francis Burke, alias Trigger Burke, has escaped from a Boston jail. He's wanted by the FBI for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution for the crime of murder. Listen carefully to his official description.
Elmer Francis Burke, age 37, 5 feet 8 inches, 150 pounds, medium build, dark brown hair, hazel eyes, medium complexion. May seek work as a clerk, truck driver, or longshoreman. This man has a 2-inch scar over left eye and a 1-inch scar center of forehead.
Caution, Trigger Burke has in the past been in possession of numerous firearms, including a submachine gun. He should be considered extremely dangerous. Attention citizens, maintain vigilance for Marvin William LeBeau, wanted by the FBI for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution for robbery. Listen carefully to his official description.
Marvin LeBeau, Lebeau, age 32, 5'6" to 5'7", 130 to 150 pounds, medium build, light brown hair, blue eyes, may seek work as a mechanic, truck driver, farmer, tile setter's helper. This man has a scar on right ring finger, scar on left index finger, 8-inch operation scar, inner right leg crippled from polio causing limp.
Caution, LeBeau may be armed and should be considered dangerous. If you have any information concerning these clues, notify your local police, the nearest office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or Gangbusters at once. Tonight's Gangbusters case was written by Robert J. Shaw and directed by Leonard L. Bass, with Larry Haynes and Bill Zuckert in leading roles. This production was supervised for CBS Radio by Jerry Danzig. Gaylord Avery speaking. The Case of the Camera Killers on Gangbusters, a production of CBS Radio in cooperation with Phillips H. Lord. For more than 25 years, Rudy Valley has been a great name in show business. From his first broadcasts with his Connecticut Yankees, he's made history in radio. Kate Smith, Burns and Allen, Eddie Cantor, Red Skelton, Bob Hope, Edgar Bergen, and the irrepressible Charlie, all were introduced to radio by Rudy Valley. In pictures, he's won acclaim as a charming, accomplished performer. Fans eagerly await his new picture opposite Jane Russell and Gene Crane. In music, Valley has sung many a song to fame and has helped many another to the hit list. Today, Rudy Valley is back on radio. On CBS Radio, of course. He's here in the music hall every Sunday night, interviewing the stars of today and tomorrow, occasionally doing a jam session with a star instrumentalist, introducing records that he likes and that you'll like. It's a great hour of the very top listening, at home or in your car, every Sunday evening on most of these same stations. Rudy Valley in the music hall on CBS Radio. Stay tuned now for Gunsmoke.
70 years ago, March 19th, 1955, Gangbusters here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Sorry for some of that noise that popped in there, but I still want you to hear the show because it's a good show. It really is. Alrighty, coming up next here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Calling All Cars, going back 90 years, and it involves a lady who wants you to come up and see her sometime.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If your daily routine never varies, chances are you're heading for a great big case of monotony. Everybody needs a break once in a while, and sometimes a vacation just once or twice a year isn't enough. But a break once a week would more than fill the bill. What could you do with that leisure time? Here's the answer to that. You can vary your routine with a fascinating and vital pursuit, spotting planes for America's Ground Observer Corps. It's exciting, it's interesting, and just 2 hours a week of your spare time is all that's needed to keep up the 24-hour schedule of the GOC. Men and women from teenage up can help the Air Corps cover the blind spots in our radar system by volunteering for the Ground Observer Corps, a civilian component of the Air Defense Command. You'll be trained and supervised by officers and airmen of the Air Defense Command to spot planes in your area. Find out from your local civilian defense office how you can be a civilian ground observer.
Long before the Ground Observer Corps was around, there was Calling All Cars. This is a West Coast program originally broadcast 90 years ago, March 19th, 1935, and the story of how Mae West had jewelry and $3,000 in cash stolen from her. And before you think 3,000 to a big star, you got to remember 3,000 in 1935. That's almost $70,000 today. Lots of money. Let's hear this episode of Calling All Cars.
Calling All Cars, a presentation of the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars, broadcast 69. A hold-up. Suspect described as 5 feet 10 or 11 inches. Weight about 190 pounds. Escape in a maroon-colored coupe. License number unknown. This suspect held up and robbed Mae West, motion picture actress, of more than $15,000, the jewelry and cash. Go get him, boy. That's all. Rolls and quit.
Many listeners tonight have already read the story of the Mae West diamond robbery in the March issue of Calling All Cars News. Over 300,000 motorists have already driven into Rio Grande service stations and asked for their free copy of this unique publication. But this isn't the only free gift you get from Rio Grande. If you fill up with Rio Grande cracked gasoline, you get extra speed, extra power, extra energy for emergencies, extra fast starting. And all these extras are free because you pay no more for Rio Grande cracked gasoline with tetraethyl than for uncracked gasolines which lack these extra features. Because of these extra features at no extra cost, the police department which solved the Mae West robbery has specified Rio Grande cracked gasoline for all police cars for 3 consecutive years. You get another free gift if you ask your Rio Grande service station for Sinclair Opaline motor oil. It comes in oversized cans, a quart for a quarter, with 2 extra ounces free. You save when you buy Sinclair Opaline, yet you get complete motor protection. Sinclair Opaline motor oil enjoys a worldwide sale and is world famous for quality. The price is lower because the sales are larger. You see, the independent service stations selling Rio Grande cracked gasoline and Sinclair Opaline motor oil are actually giving you better values for your money. During 1935, it will be the policy of Calling All Cars to bring you from time to time rebroadcasts of outstanding cases we have dramatized in the past. Thousands of you have written us and expressed your desire to hear the Mae West Jewel Robbery dramatized again. So it is with pleasure that Calling All Cars tonight brings you the Mae West Jewel Robbery, with Miss Martha Wentworth playing her now famous impersonation of Miss West. What other past cases of Calling All Cars would you like to hear again? Write to Calling All Cars, care of the station to which you are now listening, and tell us what preceding case you would like to hear. And now we turn the microphone over to Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department, who has a message for you.
Good evening, friends. When I became chief of police, there were several crimes on the police records which had not, I felt, been investigated to the utmost. To run down these crimes, I selected from the force 3 officers, Detective Lieutenants S.S. Stone, W.M. Robinson, and E.Y. Kynette, and appointed them special investigators working directly under my supervision. Among these unsolved cases was the theft of the Mae West jewels. I assigned Robinson and Stone to work on this case, which was, at that time, more than a year old. Although every peace officer in Los Angeles County had worked diligently on this case, nothing had been discovered of any value. Still, I felt that the case could be solved. The quickness and dispatch with which Lieutenants Robinson and Stone brought the case to a successful close speaks more volumes than any words I could utter in praise of them. Tonight's dramatization is based completely on the confidential reports of the investigating officers and the court transcript of the trial of David Friedman. It has also been read and approved by the plaintiff, Miss Mae West. I turn now to Frederick Lindsley, who will tell you of the Mae West Jewel Robbery.
In the latter part of September 1932, Mae West's automobile is damaged in an accident. She is seriously inconvenienced by the lack of a car. And we find her in her apartment on North Rossmore, talking the situation over with her manager, James Timoney.
Oh, I'll tell you, Jim, it's a nuisance being without a car right now with this new picture starting.
Yeah, you can rent a car.
Yeah, and put your life in the hands of any palooka they send along to drive it.
You could use cabs.
Oh, it's just as bad. And anyway, there's never a cab around the studio when you want one. See who it is, will you, Jim?
Sure. Hello, Miss West's apartment. Who? Just a minute, I'll see. There's a Mr. Brennan in the lobby. You in?
Oh, that's Dave. Sure. Tell him to come up.
Send him up, please. Hey, where's this guy?
Oh, you heard me speak of Dave Brennan. His wife and I were good friends in the big town.
Oh, yeah. Seems to me I do remember the name.
Well, he looked me up at the studio today. Just driven in town. I told him to come up and see me sometime. Well, Revolver, what's the matter with you? Hey, Jim, this monkey looks hungry. Did you feed him?
Yeah, right on the stroke of 7.
Oh, okay. What is it, fellow? What are you trying to tell me? You know, Jim, the revolver here, he has more sense than any man I've ever met. Except in you, of course.
Well, thanks for the exception. After all, I'm your manager, and that does require some sense.
Yeah, I guess it does. Well, that must be Dave, Jim. I'll let him in. Oh, Dave. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, man.
Well, I didn't have a minute to talk to you this afternoon. Come on in. Oh, tell me, how's Marge?
Fine as silk, Mae. Wants to be remembered to you and everything.
Oh, gee, that's swell. Oh, Dave, this is Jim Timoney, my manager. I don't think you ever met. Jim, this is Dave Brennan.
How do you do?
Hello, Jim. I'm glad to know you.
Well, sit down, Dave. Have a cigarette?
Thanks. Gold tips, huh? Doing all right, ain't you, Mae? Little different from the time they closed Pleasure Man over in Jersey, huh?
Oh, I wasn't doing so bad then either.
Yeah, you ring the bell every time, Mae. Well, tell me, how's every little thing out here in Hollywood?
Oh, it's okay. I can't complain. Only I'm walking instead of riding these days.
Yeah, what are you talking about, Mae? You walking? You turned over in a new leaf?
Oh, don't be funny. Oh, that lousy chauffeur of mine wrecked a car the other night, and I fired him. And they're still fixing the car, so I haven't a chauffeur or even a car to put him in.
Gee, that's tough. But say, Mae, I'd be glad to help you out.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not doing anything out here, just looking the place over. I'll drive you around.
Oh, no, Dave, I couldn't ask you to do that.
Why not? You're welcome to it.
Well, Jim, that sounds like the answer to a maiden's prayer.
Well, anyway, the answer to a prayer.
Okay, then I'm your new chauffeur.
Well, Dave, I accept with pleasure.
So Dave Brennan, friend, serves as Miss West's chauffeur. In a few days, he is completely familiar with her daily schedule. Then on September 27th, 1932, as he is driving Timoney and her along Wilshire Boulevard...
Hey, Dave, stop here a minute, will you?
Where's that, Mae?
Well, the shop at the next corner. I gotta see about a fitting.
Come on, May. Let her go till later. I got an appointment with that chatter writer at the studio. You have a rehearsal.
Oh, now, Jim, it'll only take a minute.
Yeah, I know your minutes. It means a couple of hours.
Listen, you eggs. I'll give you each $1 for every minute I'm in here over 10.
That's a bet. Dave, here's the easiest dough you ever made.
Yeah, if you make it.
Well, here she comes at last.
Yeah, and look at all the bundles.
Yeah, what did I tell you? Walk the place out.
Oh, there, boys. That wasn't long, was it?
Yeah, not much. Spent 26 minutes in there.
26 minutes? Boy, you're screwy.
No, man, that's right. 26 minutes.
So you owe us each $16.
Well, it was worth it. I found some of the loveliest lingerie.
Never mind what you found, Mae. Come on, pay off.
Oh, gee, I can't right now.
Why not?
Well, I haven't got the cash.
Go on. You're a piker.
Oh, on the level. I haven't any change.
Woman, I don't trust you. Let's see your purse.
Oh, here you are.
Gee, $3,000 notes and 400.
Nothing smaller, so I can't pay off.
What's the idea? Toting that fortune around with you, May?
I just got it out of the bank. I'm sending it east. You know, my mother.
Yeah. It isn't safe to carry it around like that.
I'm getting a postal order for it this afternoon.
No, you're not. We got rehearsals all afternoon and all day tomorrow, too.
Well, I'll have to carry it with me then.
Gee, $3,000 and 4 C's.
The next afternoon, Dave Brennan makes a date to meet a friend of his at the corner of 6th and Rampart.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Ed.
This is a pal of mine. Shake hands with Sammy. He's one of the boys.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. What's on your mind, Dave?
Listen, do you want to make a grand?
What's the job?
Grab Mae West Jewelry and her dough.
Sure. That's worth $1,000. How about my pal here?
Oh, I'll cut him in for $1,000, too.
Fair enough. How about it, Sammy?
Well, fair enough. Okay, hop in and I'll take you out to the joint and give you the layout. Well, here we are. There's the apartment house where she lives, see?
Yeah, but it's going to be sort of tough making a getaway from that joint.
Wait a minute. You don't have to knock her over in there. Like I've been telling you, I've been driving her around, see? Now, every night after she leaves the studio, her and Jim Timoney, that's her manager, and me, we all put on the feed bag together, see? Then right on the dot of 7, we pull up here, and Timoney goes up and feeds Revolver.
What do you mean? He loads his gat?
No. Revolver's the name of her pet monkey.
Oh, I get it.
Now, look here. I drive her up here at 7 sharp.
I'll pull up by that fire plug across the street, see? Nobody will be parked by it. There's sure to be a vacant place there.
Yeah, then what?
You guys be parked right here. When you see Timony get out of the car and go into the apartment house, you move in, see?
Easy.
Get the rocks and the dough and take it on the lam. I'll meet you at 11 p.m. at the same place as this afternoon.
That night, as is her custom, Miss West returns to her apartment house at 7 o'clock and requests Timony to feed the monkey. She waits in the car, intending to go on to the fights. She has been chatting with Brennan about 3 minutes when she notices a man, coat collar turned up around his face, hat pulled low, swaggered across the street toward the car.
Say, Dave, I don't like the looks of this guy coming across the street.
Oh, him. Just some drunk, I guess.
Oh, maybe. But what's that he's got in his hand?
I don't know. Looks like a handkerchief.
It's a stick-up. Hand over the poke.
What?
I said hand over the poke. Come on, give it to me. Now give me the bracelet. Quit stalling.
Oh, don't get in a hurry.
Take your time, buddy. You'll get it.
Oh, there you are.
Now, that necklace. Come on, make it snappy. Good. Now I'll have those rings.
Well, you haven't overlooked anything, have you?
No, I can't think of anything. Can you? Now listen, Mug. Start this car. Keep on going, and don't look back.
Okay.
Hey, Dave, stop.
He said to keep on going.
I don't care what he said. Stop right here. I'm going to try to get his number.
All right.
Big mug.
Yeah, he's liable to turn the heat on you, May. He sounded tough to me.
Oh, he's nothing but a hoodlum.
Well, you see anything?
No, I couldn't get the number. It's a coupe, that's all I made out.
What's the matter, May? The idea of standing here in the middle of the street. Anything wrong?
Oh, it's plenty wrong. Some mug just turned a rod on me and lifted my jewelry and that dough I was carrying.
Well, come on. Let's report this to the police right away.
Say, listen, May, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, why not?
Well, if you get the bulls on this job, you may never see the rocks again. I tell you, these gunmen are tough monkeys.
Well, what did you propose doing?
Now, listen, you leave this thing to me for a few days, will you?
Why? What could you do about it?
Well, I had some connections back east. Might do some good out here. Let me look up some guys, and maybe I can get the stuff back for you. Huh?
Well, what do you say, Jim?
If you think you can reclaim the stuff, go to it, Dave.
4 hours later, Dave does reclaim the stuff for himself.
Well, boys, that was one of the neatest jobs I ever saw pulled. Nothing messy, you know. Clean from start to finish.
Thanks, Dave. Here's the stuff.
Let me see. Ah, swell.
Wait a minute. What about our cut?
No, I'll pay you off in a couple of days.
Yeah, well, why not now? You got 3 grand notes there.
Hey, you don't want to try to change a $1,000 bill with every bull in town looking for them the way they may be tomorrow, do you?
Well, no.
No, I'm trying to stall Mae from reporting it to the cops, but she might jump out of line. Now, you fellas just leave this all to me, and I'll pay you guys off day after tomorrow.
Well, okay, Dave. Say, Dave.
What?
Hadn't you better return the ice?
Why?
Look, Dave, those rocks are her business. She looks like a good dame to me. We got $1 grand a piece of her dough. Ain't that enough?
Yeah, but there might be another 10 grand in sparklers here. Say, you don't expect me to turn that back, do you?
Look, Dave, it's none of my business. I done the job for you, and you're going to pay me off. What you do with the rocks is your own business. But if I was you, I'd turn 'em back. Geez, the dame's going to make a pitcher soon, and she's going to need 'em.
Yeah? Well, maybe you're right.
Sure I am, Dave. Give 'em back to her.
Okay, pal. I will.
The next morning, Timony and Miss West are discussing the robbery in her apartment when the phone rings.
I'll answer it, May. Hello.
I want to talk to Miss West.
Who's speaking? This is her manager.
Well, you'll do. It's about that holdup last night.
Oh, yeah. Get a load of this, May. Well, what about it?
Well, I just wanted to tell you where you can find the purse.
Fine. Where is it?
Well, you go down Rossmore from the apartment to Rosewood Avenue.
Yeah?
Then you turn to the right.
Yeah?
Well, in the middle of the block is a white garage. And behind the garage is a pile of lumber. And under the lumber, you'll find the purse.
Well, that's fine. Now, where is this Rosewood Avenue? A stranger here knows English, you know.
It ain't far from your apartment. Next block, down Rossmore.
What's that? I'm a little deaf.
I said the next block, down Rossmore from your apartment.
Yeah, I see. And you said something about a garage.
Yeah, I said the purse is behind the white garage in the middle of the block under a pile of lumber there.
Yeah, well, thanks. Who is it speaking?
Say, Mug, do you think I'm nuts? I'm doing you a favor as it is, telling you where you can find that purse.
Yeah, I know, but I'd like to... Hello? He hung up on me. Did you get that, Mae?
Oh, most of it. What's the idea of all the stupid questions and that crack about being deaf?
Yeah, just stalling him until I could remember his voice if I ever got a chance to hear it again.
Oh, smart boy, Jim. You ought to be a cop. You got the figure for it anyway.
That's so.
So they left the purse for me, huh?
Yep.
Oh, I wonder if there's anything in it.
Well, let's take a walk over there and find out.
Miss West and Timoney follow Friedman's directions and recover the purse under the lumber pile, but it is empty. 2 weeks pass, and Brennan's daily promises to contact the jewel thieves come to naught. Finally, Miss West, advised by friends in New York, contacts Lieutenant F.L. James of the police gangster squad and makes a confidential report of the holdup. James devotes weeks of his time to the case. The sheriff's office and the district attorney's investigators also work on it, but no substantial clue is discovered. Months pass. The Mae West Jewel Robbery becomes another unsolved crime. Then, James E. Davis is appointed chief of police. Shortly after taking office, he calls Detective Lieutenant Stone, Robinson, and Kynette into his office for a conference.
Boys, beginning today, you three are to work out of this office as special investigators directly under my supervision. You will be relieved of all routine duties, and I want you to spend all your time on certain cases which haven't been cleared up yet. There are a bunch of robberies that have been hanging fire. For one reason or another, no arrests have been made, and no substantial clues turned up. You know the way I feel about such a state of affairs. I have yet to see the perfect crime. There is no case that can't be solved. It's up to you boys to prove that I'm right. The first case I want you to go to work on is that Mae West Jewel Robbery. Go out and get the men that did that job and bring them in here. We'll put them away for a while where they can't bother anyone.
Detectives Stone and Robinson study the investigation reports of the officers who had originally worked on the case, and then plan their criminological strategy.
Well, it's clear from these reports that only 2 people knew Miss West was carrying that dough around with her.
Yeah, but remember she says here that she thinks maybe somebody spotted the diamonds at the fight.
Ah, that doesn't mean anything. The first thing the stick-up man said was, "Hand me the poke." The only thing in the purse he wanted was the money.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, 2 people knew about that money. Timoney and Brennan.
And Timoney's out. He's been her manager and trusted friend for years.
Right. So that leaves Brennan, who, after all, was only a casual friend. Let's work on that angle.
Holmes, your deduction is astounding.
Elementary, my dear Watson. Elementary.
Well, all right. Let's get a line on this Brennan guy.
The investigation of Brennan's acquaintances limits itself finally to Edward Friedman as the man most closely resembling the general description of height and weight given in Miss West's report. Friedman, having been booked on a previous charge, the police records include his picture and fingerprints. Stone and Robinson take Miss West the mug of Freeman for identification.
Well, is this your man, Miss West?
Oh, let me see now. He's sort of dark and handsome, isn't he?
Well, what about it? Is he the guy?
Well, I can't tell for sure. You see, he had his hat pulled down and his coat collar turned up, so his face was pretty well hidden. But if I could hear his voice or see his hands, why, then I'd be sure.
What do you mean, see his hands?
Well, he had short, pudgy hands. That was the one thing about him that impressed me.
Well, we'll run this guy down and let you get a look at his hands.
Stone and Robinson set out to run down Friedman, but they are blocked when they discover that he's out of town. A couple of weeks pass, and then an anonymous telephone call informs them that he's returned. For several days, they cruise the neighborhood of 6th and Dunsmuir, where Friedman lived, without spotting his car. Then, on Thanksgiving Day, accompanied by their wives to avert suspicion, they once more visit the place. This time they are successful in locating Friedman's coupe parked on 6th Street. For 2 hours they wait, parked nearby, and then at last a man comes out of an apartment house and approaches the car. They recognize him from the picture in the mug book as Friedman. As he gets into the coupe, Robinson walks up to the right side and Stone closes in on the left side of the car.
Open that door.
What's the big idea?
We're from the Detective Bureau. Get out.
What's the rap?
We want you for the Mae West robbery.
It's a bum beef.
Come on, get out of the car.
I'm coming, you big flatfoot.
Oh, no, you don't. You can't. Get away out of there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go.
Set the bracelets on him, Bill.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Stone and Robinson take Friedman to the University Police Station, where they question him.
You know Dave Brennan?
No.
We know you do.
Well, so what?
We want that jewelry back.
That lousy jewelry. Brennan promised to return it to Mae West. If he had, I wouldn't be here now.
What did you get for that job?
All I got was $1,000.
It's hardly worth it, was it, Friedman?
Well, I needed dough. But it was a crying shame to take that dame's rocks.
Well, what are you going to do about it now?
I'll take my rap, and I'll take that double-crossing rat Brennan to the pen with me.
Having obtained Friedman's full confession, Lieutenant Stone calls Miss West and informs her that they have a suspect in custody who has confessed. Miss West asks him to bring the man over to the apartment at once. She and Timoney greet them outside the apartment house.
Miss West, this is Mr. Friedman, the suspect I told you about.
I remember Miss West from the night I held her up.
Oh, yeah. I remember your voice now. This is the man, all right, Lieutenant.
Well, what would you say, Mr. Timoney?
Sounds like him to me, but I'd have to hear his voice on the phone to be sure.
Well, I guess we could arrange that too, Mr. Timoney.
Oh, listen, Lieutenant. Oh, I'd like to talk to Mr. Friedman alone. Mind if we get into the car? It's kind of cold standing out here.
Sure, go ahead.
Thanks. Well, look here, pal. Just what was the big idea?
Listen, Miss West, I'm sorry about the whole thing. I really am. If I'd known you were so regular, I never would have agreed to do it.
Oh, it's all very nice to hear, but how about them diamonds of mine, huh?
I don't know where they are. I got $1,000 for the job, and I was through. Brennan took the rocks.
Oh, so Brennan was in on it, eh?
Sure.
Oh, that's the limit. And I call that guy a friend. I guess I'm just a chump.
I made Brennan promise to return the diamonds.
Oh, you're good at moving mountains, too.
I wanted to come and tell you about it a lot of times. If I could have gotten the jewels back for you, I would.
You know, you're not a bad guy, Friedman. I don't know, but I feel kind of sorry for you. But that double-crossing Brennan, if I could get my hands on him...
You and me both.
The long arm of the law reaches out for Brennan, and he is arrested in Chicago. Friedman is indicted by the grand jury on December 4th on 2 counts of robbery, the Mae West job and a prior holdup. On January 24th, 1934, Friedman goes on trial before Judge Harry Sewell. Day after day, the courtroom is packed as Mae West gives her testimony. On February 2nd, the jury is given its instructions and retires. At 1 a.m. on February 3rd, the jury files back into the still crowded courtroom.
The jury's coming back in quiet.
Gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Read the verdict, please.
We, the members of the jury, find the defendant, Edward Friedman, guilty as charged in the indictment of robbery in the 2nd degree.
Stand back there. Get some water, someone.
Oh, what seems to be the matter, Jim?
Friedman's fainted.
Oh, a tough guy, huh? Just a poor hoodlum. He can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Judge Sewell sentenced Friedman for from 2 years to life in San Quentin Penitentiary. He appealed his case, and the appellate court confirmed the judgment. Stubbornly, he carried his fight to the state Supreme Court, but that august body refused to review his case. and Friedman must serve his time. Dave Brennan, instigator of the plot, was arrested in Chicago, jumped a $10,000 bond, and traveled to Miami, Florida, where he was arrested again. Although Captain Stone traveled all the way to Miami to bring back his man, the governor of Florida ruled that as Brennan was under bond in Illinois, he would have to be extradited from that state. So the fight for extradition goes on. We, the police, have performed our duty and discharged our obligation to Miss West and to society in apprehending these criminals. But how quickly they can be locked behind prison bars is a question that can only be answered by those who manipulate the red tape of the law.
Thank you, Chief Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want further information on the Mae West diamond robbery, you can get the story illustrated in the March issue of the Calling All Cars News. Just drive into any Rio Grande service station and ask for your free copy. You are under no obligation to buy anything. But if you have not yet tried Rio Grande cracked gasoline, we urge you to fill your tank and then hunt for a hill. As soon as Rio Grande cracked reaches your carburetor, you'll find your car developing new energy. It will accelerate easier. You'll go over hills in seconds where you formerly had to crawl in low gear. You won't have to shift gears so often in traffic. For Rio Grande cracked gasoline with tetraethyl has extra energy, extra speed, extra power, because it's refined by the distinctive cracking process that creates a livelier gasoline. To prove to you that Rio Grande cracked is a better gasoline, we refer you to cities like Oakland, Berkeley, Merced, Los Angeles, and to Maricopa County, Arizona, which have made tests and specify Rio Grande cracked gasoline exclusively for all emergency engines. Wherever it is sold, Rio Grande cracked gasoline powers more police cars, ambulances, fire engines, and other emergency equipment than any other brand.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars. Cancellation of broadcast 69 regarding a holdup. Suspect described in this broadcast is now in custody. That's all. Rosenquist.
This is your narrator, Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Now, the robbery itself took place in 1932, so this was 3 years later, but there was still a lot of interest in this case because, after all, when somebody like Mae West gets held up like this, it's a big thing. Now, I mentioned earlier the amount of the $3,000. The total estimated in the robbery, according to newspaper accounts of the day, was estimated at $19,500. You know how much that would be in $25? Over $452,000. And Mae West was just carrying it around. Oh my, 90 years ago, March 19th, 1935, Calling All Cars, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. All right, coming up on Thursday's show, we will get back to comedy, an episode of The Pepsodent Show starring Bob Hope from 1945 with his guest Shirley Temple. Also, another hour-long Fred Allen show from 1940, and this one you will enjoy because it's wonderful live radio. An eagle got loose in the studio. What's it all about? You'll have to listen tomorrow. And then another quiz show called True or False, starring Harry Hagan, where male postal workers or postal clerks are pitted against women of the League of Women Voters. And we'll also have a Jack Webb show, 1 out of 7, from 1946, called Equality, a Most Wonderful Thing. And here's the description of the show. In Germany, unidentified people are executed. In the South, a Negro is whipped. In Alabama, a Negro is denied voter registration. In Tupelo, Mississippi, a clergyman registers to run for the House of Representatives and is run out of town. Yeah. And people think it's bad today. It was really bad back then. That's a show 1 out of 7 where Jack Webb performs all the voice roles in the show. That'll be coming up on our Thursday show. Now on Friday, more comedy with an episode of, who is it? It's Pepper McGee and Molly, along with the Martin and Lewis Show, Jack Benny and the Mean Old Man, Ozzie and Harriet, and then on Saturday, as I said, a mixed bag, Screen Directors Playhouse, The Great Lover, also Passport to Romance, and Jack Webb in Dragnet. And then on Sunday, we will get to some Westerns and a quiz show. We'll have episodes of Frontier Gentleman, Gunsmoke, and Luke Slaughter of Tombstone from 1958, and a game show called Quick as a Flash. That's all coming up on the few days ahead here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, Escape.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This year, 32,300 people are doomed to death.
By Cornelius Happ, I never stopped to realize.
You know, Harlow, it takes 10 seconds and 336 feet to stop a car traveling at 60 miles an hour. That's why brains are more important than brakes. Why the man behind the wheel should beware of the speed at which he's driving. Why safe and sane are synonymous words to drivers who value their fellows' lives as well as their own.
In other words, Hap, just because Autolite resistor spark plugs give your car more pep, don't try to use all of it, eh?
Exactly, Harlow. But there's more. The Good Samaritan is the gracious guy or gal who not only knows and keeps the rules of the road, but also keeps his temper in his head when some bungling Benny gives him the road hog treatment.
Yes, Hap, it's sad but true that one right way to wrong driving is to always demand your highway rights. Be sure to be safe.
Right, Harlow.
And while that may have been from Suspense, this is going to be Escape coming up next. Harry Bartell starring in an episode entitled The Finger of Doom from 76 years ago, March 19th, 1949.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, transcribed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are searching frantically through the dark, empty rooms of an apartment, panic gripping your heart, terror at your heels. For the girl you love, who was with you a moment before, has disappeared, vanished, as if into thin air.
Today we escape from reality with a gripping tale of a girl who vanished and the man who had to find her to save his life, as Cornell Woolrich told it in his great story, Finger of Doom.
Nothing unusual ever happens to you, huh? In your comfortable American city, nothing ever could it? Let me tell you something. Right on the common, everyday streets of a big city, I had the strangest, most fantastic adventure anyone could dream up. And I've had my fill of adventure for the rest of my life. This happened several years ago before the war on an ordinary evening in early spring. Well, not so ordinary, because I had a couple of free tickets to a good show and I was picking Steffi up at her office for dinner. See, we were going to be married in less than 2 weeks. So naturally, I was impatient as I waited there on the sidewalk in front of her office building, and of course, she was late, last one to leave as usual. I felt like a picket pacing up and down in front of the door, but finally there she was, spun gold piled on her head, blue eyes shining, and carrying...
Hi, darling.
What's that?
Have I kept you waiting long? I tried to hurry all I could. With this? Just a package. I promised his nibs I'd deliver it on the way home.
But you're not going home. We're eating out and going to a show.
But it's right on the way. I have to leave it at a flat in Martin Street. It won't take a minute.
Why can't he get somebody else to run his errands for him? We're late now. This'll cut our eating time down.
Woof, woof, Grumpy.
Oh,
So this is what the 13th does to you.
13th?
You mean you've forgotten? You mean you aren't counting the days?
Oh, sure. 13 days left.
13 and a half. Don't forget that half of it's to be a noon wedding. I don't like the 13 all by itself. I'll be glad when it's tomorrow and only 12 left.
You know something? You're cute. The more I know you, the cuter you get.
I bet you won't say that a year from now. I bet you'll be calling me your old lady then.
Will you mind?
Well, not right at first, maybe.
Okay, come on, let's make like delivery boys. Oh, what's the address?
Mr. Miller, 415 Martin Street, apartment 4F.
We're on our way. Sure is a frowsy neighborhood.
Everybody can't be rich, you know. 411, 413. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Some clients your boss must have. I'll be glad when you aren't working for him anymore. Oh, did you give him your notice?
Yesterday. He gave me the funniest look. Good thing he doesn't know you. He'd eat you alive.
Hey, wait.
Huh?
Here it is.
Oh, I was sailing right by. See how you affect me?
Mm-hmm. Okay, give it to the hallman or the janitor or somebody, and let's get going.
Oh, no, I've got to take it up personally and get a receipt. Besides, there doesn't seem to be anybody here. Oh, it's one of those push-button doors. What did I say the name was again?
Muller or something, wasn't it?
What would I do without you? 4A, 4B, 4C. Oh, here it is, 4F. Oh, no wonder I couldn't find it. The name card's fallen out. Oh, this must be the button. You wait down here for me. I won't be a minute.
A minute's too long.
Well, this'll hold you until I get back. Oh, the door. Only a minute now. Bye.
Bye. For a minute, I watched her through the glass. She got into the little self-service elevator and closed the door. Then all I could see was the gleam from the elevator in use light. Then she was gone. I lit a cigarette and waited. How long does it take to smoke a cigarette? 5 minutes? 10? Anyway, I finished it. Nothing happened. I stood around fidgeting, shifting from one foot to the other, and from one shoulder leaning against the wall to the other. A woman came by with a squalling kid, gave me a haughty look, and went on in. Tried to figure out what could be taking so long. Maybe they didn't have a pencil to sign the receipt. Maybe they had to find one. I lit another cigarette, took a couple of puffs, but now my patience was gone. What is this? I rattled the door first, and then I pushed the button for apartment 4F. I still didn't plan to go up. I just wanted to let her know that I was still alive. But I got no answering buzz. I kept ringing it, holding my thumb down till it was white. Still no answer. Suddenly, I wasn't angry anymore. Suddenly, I was scared. I did the instinctive thing. I ran out into the street again and looked up at the face of the building, searching the windows, but of course there was nothing to see. And that move cost me a chance to get in. While I was out on the sidewalk, a seedy-looking character came out of the door, letting it click shut before I could get back in. I tried the buzzer again. Couldn't be out of order. They'd answered it when Steffi pushed it. But now, nothing. Dead to the world up there. By now it was 20 minutes. 20 minutes since she left me. Now I was frightened. I knew I had to get up there. I pushed another button, anyone at random. The door was released and I was in. Four F was at the back of the building. I stood out in the dark hallway and listened. There wasn't a sound. At first, this was a relief. At least she wasn't in any difficulty, or she'd be screaming. But then, when I began to knock and kick the door, practically break it down, and still nobody made a sound, I began to get panicky. Heads poked out of doors all along the hall.
Hey, cut out the racket!
Where will I find the janitor?
Down in the basement, I suppose.
I raced down to the basement, found the janitor eating his supper. I barged right in.
You looking for something?
Come up with me, quick. Will you bring your pass key? I want to open one of the flats.
What's the matter? What's wrong?
I don't like the looks of it. My girl took a package up. I've been waiting for her for over 20 minutes, and she never came down again. Now they won't answer the bell. Come on, please, hurry.
Oh, which apartment is it?
On the 4th floor. Come on, I'll show you.
What number?
4F, but...
Wait a minute. Couldn't be 4F, not that one.
Why not?
Because there's nobody living there. Why, that apartment's been vacant for 6 months.
He took me up and showed me he was right. It was an empty flat. I went through its rooms calling Steffi's name, but she wasn't there. There was nobody there. Looked like there hadn't been anybody there for months. The dust was thick on the bare floor, on the sills of the locked windows.
See, mister, she couldn't have come in here.
But I saw her ring the bell and go in the door.
In this door?
The downstairs door.
Oh, well, she could have gone to any apartment then.
But she was coming here. She rang this bell and somebody answered.
Nobody could have answered. Nobody's been here. She must have rung another bell.
Is there somebody in this apartment named Muller?
No, we never had anybody by that name. Not in the whole 12 years I've been here.
Somebody must have gotten in and was waiting for her.
Will you tell me how they could? It was locked. You saw me open it with me pass key, didn't you?
Listen, we're going to ask all the tenants on this floor. Maybe they heard something.
Now, wait a minute. I don't like to disturb them. Maybe this girl just walked out on you. Maybe it had a quarrel.
No, there was nothing like that. I know she wouldn't just walk out. Besides, how could she? Is there a back way?
Yes, but only through the basement. She would have had to pass right by me.
And you didn't see her, and I was waiting downstairs at the front door, and she didn't come out that way. Then obviously she's still in here.
Well, maybe. Or maybe...
What?
Are you sure she ever come in?
Of course. You mean, am I sure there ever was a girl?
Well, now, don't get excited, mister. All right, we'll look, we'll ask. Take it easy, take it easy.
Okay.
Hear anything in 4F? How could I? The place is empty.
I know, but didn't you hear something? Anything?
No. Yeah, the buzzer was going like crazy, like somebody was leaning on the button downstairs. But that
was
could have been
me.
anybody. Yeah. Then a little later, this guy banging on the door. He asked me where to find you.
Never mind.
Thank you. Sorry to have disturbed you.
Okay.
Well, that's all of them. No trace at all. Maybe now you'll let me get back to my supper. There's nothing more we can do. Maybe if you go where she lives or works, you might find her.
Wait here. I'm going to call the police. First, I got a patrolman from the corner. He asked a lot of questions and then called his station. A few minutes later, a detective was dropped off, a fellow by the name of Gilman. I must admit he was thorough. He checked on every apartment in the building. The only thing he learned was about the false ring which let me in. But there was only one, not two. And that meant that whoever buzzed for Steffi was expecting her. Gilman checked apartment 4F thoroughly, the windows with their undisturbed layer of dust, the door, the keyhole, everything. And then he said...
There's nothing to show that she or anyone else ever came in here, Bud.
Look, don't do this to me. You make it sound like she didn't come here with me at all.
Well, that's what it does sound like.
But don't you see... Look, I was going to take her to a show. Here are the tickets.
Don't mean a thing. We're going to build this from the ground up and see what we've got. You say her name is Stephanie Riska. Address?
120 Farragut.
What's she look like?
She's blonde, and she came up to about here. I mean...
Okay. Don't let it get you.
I'm not scared because she's gone. It's because she's gone in such a fairy tale way. She just disappeared into thin air.
All right, let's get about finding her then. You met her at 6:15 outside the Bailey Goodwin building with a package to be delivered here. Who'd she work for?
A press clipping service called the Green Star. It's a one-man organization operated by a man named Hessen. One dinky little room on the ground floor of the building.
What do they do?
I don't know much about it. They have a list of clients, and they go through the paper and clip out any story which mentions one of the clients. They get about a nickel a clipping.
How is there any money in that?
I don't know.
Okay, we're going up there. We'll find out.
The night watchman led us into the office after Gilman showed him his badge. It was a tiny room with only a desk, a telephone, and another table and a filing cabinet. Except for a lone can of Canadian Ace brew, all of them were bare as bones.
This is no office. This is a telephone booth.
Not a big business, I guess.
This is their list of clients. They can't be making very much money at those prices.
Steffi got paid every week.
There's nobody named Muller in the file.
What do you think?
I don't see anything here to indicate she even has a secretary.
You could ask the night watchman.
I already have. He's never seen her.
Well, but that doesn't mean anything. He works at night and she works in the daytime.
Okay, I only said he's never seen her. Doesn't know anything about her.
Hessen. Her boss. You can ask him.
We're going there next, and I guess you'll have a chance. Wait a minute. Here's something.
What?
What kind of gum does your girl chew?
She doesn't. Likes Lifesavers, hates gum.
Well, whoever sits at this table chews gum, lots of it. It's all over the bottom. Tutti frutti.
That doesn't mean anything. Maybe somebody came in, put it there. Maybe it's all. Maybe Hessen.
Okay, let's go. We'll see what he has to say.
Hessen lived in a swanky bungalow-type home in the suburbs. As Gilman and I left the police car and walked up the drive to the house, I got the strangest feeling of unreality. Like this was all a horrible nightmare. Couldn't be happening. My knees were sagging, but then Gilman was knocking on the door, and it was answered by an ugly, foreign-looking character who went away and returned to usher us into Hessen's presence. I'd seen him a time or two, but he didn't know me, so he gave no sign of recognition.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Mr. Hessen, I'm Sergeant Gilman, police force.
Oh, yes, I'm pleased to know you.
I won't take up much of your time, but I need a little help.
Gladly, if it is within my power.
Did you ever see this young fellow before?
No. What has he done?
I'm not sure yet. Do you know anyone named Muller at 415 Martine Street?
Muller? No, I don't know anyone by that name. I think we have a Miller, a Mrs. Elsie Miller, on our list, who all the time divorces and remarries. Will that do? She owes us $29.
Then you didn't send a package over to Muller, apartment 4F, 415 Martine Street at 6:15 this evening?
No.
Why, you...
Hold it. You keep quiet.
I'm sure I didn't, Sergeant. But wait, it's easy enough to confirm it. Oh, Miss Riska.
Yes?
Stephanie, will you please come in a moment?
What?
Steady.
My assistant happens to be right here at the house tonight. I had some dictation to give her, and she's transcribing it. We usually mail out clippings. Only when there's some urgent request do I send them by personal messenger.
Yes, sir?
Suddenly the room was spinning in front of my eyes. I was looking at it, trying to see it, but lights kept streaking across the room like comets. And their voices came to me through a thick fog.
Stephanie, did we send a package to 415 Martine Street this evening to a Mr. Muller?
No, sir. Not that I know of.
I see. And tell me, did you ever see this young man before? Do you know him?
Why, no, I don't believe I do.
Wait, this isn't Stephanie. He's calling somebody else by her name. This isn't Stephanie. I tell you that...
My dear sir, this is the only young lady I have working for me.
In just a moment, we will return to Escape. But first, Mr. and Mrs. X thought they were pretty smart, smarter than the Narcotics Bureau and the Bureau of Customs combined, but they overlooked a casual passenger aboard the luxury liner. For a fascinating true-life tale of crime and smuggling on the high seas, hear Gangbusters tonight. And along with it, CBS's other great Saturday night thrill-a-minute show, The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. Both of these programs are regular Saturday night features on most of these same CBS network stations. Gangbusters recreates famous crimes and their solutions by national, state, and local agencies. The Adventures of Philip Marlowe are based on the character of the famous private eye, created by Raymond Chandler, the noted mystery story writer. And now, with our stars, Harry Bartell as Kenny, and with Ed Begley as Gilman, we return to the second act of Escape and Finger of Doom.
Hessen stood there and blandly said it. This strange girl was my fiancée, was Stephanie Riska. He stood there looking surprised and hurt, and she stared at me with a just right, puzzled expression on her face. Gilman was holding me with a sort of a half Nelson and gritting at me.
Stop it.
But I tell you, this isn't Steffi. Steffi is blonde. This girl is brunette. Steffi's short, comes up to here. This one's tall, I tell you...
Shut up. You're asking for trouble. Now, calm down.
Sergeant, I don't believe I understand.
I'm just beginning to myself. Miss, how long have you been working for Mr. Hessen?
Why, since October of last year. About 6 months.
And your name is Stephanie Riska?
Why, yes, of course.
She's lying, I tell you.
Shut up. I don't mean to doubt your word, miss, but just for the record, I suppose you could show me some proof of your identity?
Why, yes, right here in my bag. My driver's license.
Oh, wait, the bag has initials. Oh, yeah, S.R.
Of course, S.R.
And the driver's license.
Steffi doesn't drive. She has no car.
But I do. It isn't a very good one,
Anything else?
Well, this letter, addressed to me.
Address 120 Farragut. May I look?
Why, yes, of course.
Uh-huh. It's genuine, all right. Here you are, and...
I don't know what else I have here, but... Oh.
I'll get it. Here you are.
Oh, thank you.
I see you carry chewing gum in your purse.
Why, yes.
Tutti frutti. Not many people like that flavor.
I never chew any other.
Well, thanks. Sorry to have bothered you both. Come on, chum.
I hope we've been able to help, Sergeant.
A lot, thanks. Good night.
Good night, Sergeant.
Okay, what's your racket, kid? Are you a pushover for the mental ward? Or are you working off a grudge against this guy? Or did you do something to some little blonde, blue-eyed number and you're trying to set up an alibi even before we find out about it?
Things like this don't happen. They can't. 1 minute she's here and then she's gone. No one will believe me.
Why should we? You haven't produced a single person all night who actually saw this blonde of yours.
Where'd I get her name and address then?
That's one thing I'm not sure of. So I'll give you one more spin for your money. You stand or fall by the place she lived. 120 Farragut Street. Come on, let's go. Okay, this is it. Come on. What is it, a rooming house?
Yeah. She lived alone, just a room. She only came here from Harrisburg 6 months ago. But the landlady...
Now, what's the matter?
I just remembered. Hessen recommended this place to her.
Now, look. You want to go in or you want to go to headquarters? The tougher you get with me, the tougher I'll be on you.
Listen, you gotta listen. I was only up there once, but I remember it. Sticking in the mirror of the dresser is a litho of the Holy Mother. On the radiator's a rag doll I won for her at Coney Island and a Hickok wallet I gave her last Christmas. And on a shelf against the wall is a gas ring, and from the light fixture to the gas jet is a string where she hangs stockings to dry. Will you remember those things? The bedspread's green, and there's a green and yellow upholstered chair. Don't you see? I couldn't make these things up. She must be real.
You almost convinced me. Come on. Now, when we get inside, you keep your mouth shut. One peep and I'll split your lip.
Yes?
You got a girl named Stephanie Riska living here?
Yep, 4th floor front.
How long she been here?
Riska? 6 months.
What does she look like?
Dark hair, dark skin. About as tall as this young fella. Talks kind of husky. Why?
Police. I want to see her room.
Sure. Come right in.
Gilman practically had to support me all the way up. My knees just weren't functioning. But that was nothing to the shock I got when the landlady opened Steffi's door. The room was all different. Not one thing was the same as I had told Gilman. He didn't even look at me.
Has she always had it fixed up this way?
Always, since the first week she moved in.
Does she drive a car?
Yeah, a little old coupe. She's a real clean roomer. Only one thing I got to complain about. Oh, there it is again, under the washstand.
Oh, yes. Chewing gum. Yeah, let me see it. Uh-huh. Tutti frutti.
You better watch your friend. He looks like he's going to faint.
Let him fold up. That isn't anything to the falls he'll be taking in a few minutes.
What did he do? Murderer?
Not her, but I got a good hunch he murdered somebody, and he picked the wrong name out of the hat.
He don't look like... Ow!
I hit him and ran. I knew I had to. He was going to take me to the police station. Then I wouldn't have any chance to find Steffi. Not for a long time. Maybe too long a time. And I had to find her. I went back to the Martine Street flat. It was the only place to go. Back to where she disappeared. Start from there. I knew Gilman would catch up with me sooner or later, but I might be able to turn up something first. I told the janitor the cops had sent me back to take another look at the apartment and got him to give me the passkey. He fell for it. I went up to the apartment alone. But once there, I couldn't find a thing. I wandered through the empty rooms, calling her name helplessly. I tapped the walls, scraped the plaster, tested the windows. I'd been there about 10 minutes when I heard a little sound out in the hall, like somebody coming up the stairs very quietly. I slipped out the door and stood at the top of the stairs. It was the janitor, with Gilman and 2 cops. They were coming up the stairs. There was only one way for me to go, up, so up I went. And then they saw me.
Hey, you, come down here.
One flight up, I came to the top of the stairs. A sort of skylight window opened onto the roof. It was standing loose, partly open. I ran out across the roof, tried to hurdle the low wall to the next roof. I missed, fell.
All right, don't move. I got you, you lily-livered louse. And when I get you down to hell...
All right. I'll go quietly. It's no use now.
Well, I'll be...
What's the matter?
Calhoun, throw your light over here.
What?
Okay?
What? It's a package.
Yeah, package lying here on the roof. Addressed to Muller, apartment 4F.
That's it. Don't you see? That's what she brought.
Holy smoke. Okay, kid. Somebody did bring a package here tonight. I'll give you that. And when I give you that, I guess I give you all of it. She's a blonde, never chews gum, doesn't drive, all of it. Somebody must have jumped her, brought her up this way across the roofs and down through some other house. They dropped the package on the way. Maybe didn't have time to come back and pick it up.
What'll we do?
Calhoun. Yeah? Call in. Have a radio car keep Hessen's house on Myrtle Drive spotted until we get there. I want to stop off at that office again first.
Right, Sarge.
Do you think...
No, kid, not yet. They would have done it right here in the empty flat and let you take the rap. Come on, buck up. We got work to do.
At Hessen's office, we found 2 things.
These files are funny. About every third name is a foreign one with a foreign mailing address. Why would those people want local press clippings?
What do you mean?
I mean, this looks like a job for the FBI, spy stuff. Maybe your girl had found something out, and that's why they figured she was too dangerous. Did she ever say anything?
No, but she told them she was quitting next week to get married.
So she didn't suspect anything, but they thought she did. Same thing. Come on, we'll stop off at that rooming house. I want that landlady picked up. Obviously, she's one of them. Changed the room all around, stuck the gum into the washstand, everything.
Hey, wait. Look, on the floor next to the baseboard.
Yeah, gilt hairpin. So she was blonde. Okay, let's go.
At the rooming house, with the landlady turned over to a cop downstairs, Gilman went over the room once more. Fished into the wash basin drain and came out with a couple of blonde hairs.
Now, why didn't I think of that the first time? Girl shampoos her hair once in a while.
Then we were on our way to Hessen's house on Myrtle Drive. All the way I was praying. When we arrived, it was dark, deserted. Even the police car Gilman had ordered wasn't there. We went in, shooting the lock off the door. We searched the ground floor, then upstairs. In an attic room, we found a shortwave radio. But not Steffi. Just as we got back downstairs, Calhoun came in with a report from the radio car.
They trailed him to Pier 07, North River. The 3 of them got on a tramp steamer that sailed immediately.
And they're gone. It's too late.
They won't get out of the harbor. We'll have them picked off at quarantine. 3 of them, you say, Calhoun? A blonde girl?
No, they said 2 men and a dark girl.
Then where's Steffi?
Still here, probably.
But where?
We'll soon... Wait. Do you smell something? Smoke?
Yeah. And gasoline.
The basement. Come on, hurry.
Smoke? The basement's filled with smoke.
Here, over this way.
Steffi! Steffi!
Hurry, this place will be a mass of flames in a minute.
I can't see. Steffi!
Here, give me a hand. Here she is. Hurry.
Oh, Steffi. Is she...
No, she's breathing. Hurry, let's get her out of here fast.
In the next few minutes, there was a lot of excitement around there. While the fire companies fought the fire, we cut the ropes off Steffi and revived her. She was all right, and I sat there in the police car with my arms around her as if I'd never let her go again. And that's just how I felt, too. Then a radio report came in.
Well, they got them off the ship at quarantine. They'll be turned over to the FBI eventually, but first... Well, they better hadn't let me get my hands on them. You know, kid, she is pretty.
Gee, thanks for everything.
It's okay. Well, I gotta go and... Oh, say, I've got something I want to return to you.
Yeah, what?
This.
I went out like a light when he hit me. And a few minutes later, when I came to, Steffi was holding me in her arms,
Kenny.
stroking my head and smiling.
Kenny, he said to tell you no hard feelings. But when anyone socks Dick Gilman over the head, he gets socked back, even if they're the best of friends.
Steffi, you know something?
What, darling?
You're cute with stars in your hair.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Today we have presented transcribed Finger of Doom by Cornell Woolrich, adapted for radio by John Dunkel. Starred as Kenny was Harry Bartell, with Ed Begley as Gilman. Featured in the cast were Joy Terry, Edgar Barrier, Louise Arthur, Peter Prowse, and Kay Miller. Special music was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You are clinging to a narrow window ledge, your strength running out. While before your eyes, seen through the window, the most beautiful girl in the world is about to die. Because of you.
Next week, we escape with an unusual story, The Adaptive Ultimate by John Jessel. Be sure to tune in again at the same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. You can escape again tomorrow night when CBS's famous dramatic series presents screen star Edmund O'Brien in another special Sunday night Escape broadcast at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Mr. O'Brien will star as an explorer who becomes a prisoner in a beautiful and strange country populated by blind men. Be sure to hear tomorrow night's Escape, starring Edmund O'Brien in H.G. Wells' famous story, Country of the Blind, on most of these same CBS network stations. Now, stay tuned for 5 minutes of the latest news, to be followed by Let's Pretend over most of these same stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking for CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
"76 years ago, March 19th, 1949, Escape on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. To support the show, of course, always like and subscribe to us on your podcast platform. Leave us a positive review. You can financially support us by buying something over at classicradio.stream, or you can buy me a coffee. Any of that is really good stuff. All righty, Lawson Zerbe stars next in The Adventures of Frank Merriwell.
We live in an age of specialization. We work in it, too. The legendary jack of all trades is lost out to the master of one. Too often, however, 20th century employers find it difficult to find the highly trained, highly skilled workers they need. Like any problem, however, theirs will yield to thought and consideration. A physically handicapped worker, for example, may not be able to do every job well, but if he's trained to do the one job you want done, you can rest assured he'll do that job well. A physical disability is not and need not be a job disability. Very often a handicap will even add to the worker's efficiency. Where excessive room noise is a factor, a deaf employee may prove more efficient than his colleagues. Weekdays, call the local office of your state employment service and hire the handicapped to fill job openings in your organization. You will find the state employment service listed in your telephone directory.
Now we're going to go back to the turn of the last century for an episode of The Adventures of Frank Merriwell, starring Lawson Zerbe from 76 years ago, March 19th, 1949.
There it is, an echo of the past, an exciting past, a romantic past. The era of the horse and carriage, gaslit streets, and free-for-all football games. The era of one of the most beloved figures in American fiction, Frank Merriwell. Merriwell is loved as much today as ever he was. And so the National Broadcasting Company brings into radio in a new series of stories based on the famous books written by Gilbert Patton under the pen name Bert L. Standish. Today, the Boomerang Pitch. Yale's early baseball practice has already begun. And as our story opens, it's a chilly March afternoon. Frank, Bart, and the rest of the Yale squad are going through a fast batting and fielding drill on the soft turf of the practice ground.
Attaboy, Bart. That's the way to take your cut. You're beginning to pull that ball now. Well, watch my swing this time, Frank. Tell me if I'm breaking my wrist at the right time. Go ahead. Oh, no. Oh, yes, Coach? Yeah. Keep hitting him, Bart. I'll be right back. Oh, sure. Come on, talk a few more. Okay. What is it, sir?
How is your arm? I noticed you weren't bearing down much during your warm-up.
Oh, it feels great, sir. I was just following your orders. You said to take it easy.
Well, you'll have to start bearing down. Looks like you pitch a full 9 innings up in Boston tomorrow.
Oh, then that game with Holy Cross is definitely on.
Yes, we just got word from them. They want to make it a regulation game.
Yeah, that's fine. Did you hear that, Bart?
Oh, hear what?
The team's going up to Boston tomorrow to play a practice game with Holy Cross.
Oh, that's great.
I'm anxious to get started in the regular game.
Well, it's not so great to me. We've got a pitching problem.
Oh, you mean on account of Jack Diamond's sore arm?
Exactly. I plan to use him for half the game and you for the other half. Now it looks like you'll have to go the whole route.
Well, that's no hardship for Frank, sir. He'll be ready.
I'm not so sure. I don't like to start off the season with you pitching a full game, Frank, but I guess it can't be helped. We're in a bad way for reserve pitching strength this year.
Oh, stop worrying, Coach. With Frank on the mound, you won't need any relief pitchers.
I hope you're right, Hodge. Now, since you two are the starting battery for tomorrow, I want you to relax. Take the rest of the afternoon off.
Oh, yes, sir. Come on, Bart.
We're catching the 9 a.m. train for Boston tomorrow. Make sure you're at the station on time.
Oh, we will be, sir.
All right, you infielders.
Hey, this is a break spot. We can get over to Inver's earlier than we expected.
Hey, say, Frank, look.
Huh? Look who's walking out to the field. Where? Oh, you mean Ed Palmer. Don't tell me the biggest bookworm in our class has decided to come out for the field. I doubt that, Bart. Ed isn't interested in sports. I never could understand him. All the time he's been at school, he's never come out to even see a ball game. Well, that's not hard to understand. Don't forget, Ed's an Oxford Exchange scholar, and they don't go in for American baseball in England. Oh, that's true. It's the same. I wonder why he's coming out here to practice.
Frank Merriwell, hold on.
Looks like we're going to find out. Wait for him, Bart. Look the way he runs. If he weren't such a bookworm, I bet he'd be a pretty good athlete. Well, what's the trouble, Ed? Oh, I'm so glad I caught you. I want to have a chat with you. Hello, Bart. Hi, Ed. Well, we're just on our way over to Inverberg. I hate to bother you, but this is desperately important. Well, come along with us. Enzo will be glad to see you. Oh, no, I don't want to intrude. Nonsense. Besides, we can have our chat on the way. Well, very well, then. And when you hear what I have to say, you'll understand why I seem so upset. I'm in something of a jam, Frank, and you've simply got to help me out. This tea makes me feel quite at home, Miss Barry.
I'm certainly glad you came over with Frank and Bart, Ed. But what's all this about you being in some kind of trouble?
Oh, he told us about it on the way over, and he sure isn't exaggerating. It's a devilishly awkward business. I feel like a fool. Well, you shouldn't, Ed. It's a perfectly natural thing to happen.
Well, for goodness sake, someone tell me what it's all about. I'm dying of curiosity.
It's about me, Inza, and my prowess as a Yale athlete.
Athlete?
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry, Ed. I didn't mean to sound so surprised.
Oh, that's all right, Inza. Everyone knows I've never done anything at Yale but study. Everyone, that is, but my family back home. Well, you see, Enza, Ed's family thinks he's a star athlete here at Yale.
Oh, I'm beginning to understand.
It started out innocently enough. Dad misunderstood something I'd written in a letter, and the first thing I knew, I was carrying on this deception.
Well, I don't see anything so terrible about that. It makes your father happy. Lets your family go on thinking it. There's no harm done.
But that's the whole trouble, Enza. He can't. No, you see, my father's here in the States on business, and at this very moment he's speeding towards New Haven.
Oh, dear. Oh, that is bad.
Yes, absolutely. He arrives this evening. Naturally, he wants to see me before sailing back to England. He's bound to learn the truth, and, well, it's going to disappoint him terribly, to say the least. Well, you see, the worst of it is Ed's father thinks he's a star on the baseball team, and he'll want to go up to Boston with us tomorrow for the game.
Well, he can't do that. He'll know the truth for certain then.
I'm afraid there's nothing for it but to own up. No matter how badly it disappoints him, he'll have to know sooner or later. Too bad you're not really on the team, Ed. He could sure use a few pitchers.
Pitchers. I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
Oh, the players who throw the ball to the batters.
Oh, the bowler. Why didn't you say so? Well, I'm rather good at that, you know.
Bowling? Oh, that's a cricket term, Bart. It's the same thing as pitching.
Oh.
Thanks. Eddie played cricket, perhaps he really could play baseball.
Oh, I shouldn't presume.
Well, I'm afraid there's quite a difference.
Well, it's the same principle. One man throws the ball and another bats.
Yes, I can just imagine the way they throw it. I bet a cricket pitcher wouldn't last half an inning against a high school team.
It's a cricket bowler, oh boy.
Well, whatever you call it. He'd still get knocked out of the box.
Well, not necessarily. There's more to it than you might imagine.
Why don't you give him a chance, Frank? You said the Yale team was short of pitchers this year.
Well, that's true, and so we are. But not that short. Oh, wait, Bart. Maybe Inza has something there. At least we could give him a chance. Who knows? He might make a pitcher in time.
Well, you could try him out at least, right here in the backyard.
What do you say, Ed? You think you could learn to pitch?
Oh, I'm not concerned at all about the pitching, as you call it, but I am worried about the rules you have.
Rules?
Yes, and of course I shouldn't like to become confused in a crisis.
Nice one, Frank. Here now, Ed. That was a fastball. You think you could hit it?
My word, he has a lot of speed, hasn't he?
Go on, Ed. Try to hit one of Frank's pitches.
Here's the bat.
Yes.
Now remember what we told you about your stance.
No, I'll try. Go ahead, Frank, old boy. Bowl the first one right over the pad.
No, that's great, Ed. Pitch it right over the plate.
Oh, yes, plate. Well, however you say it, I'm ready.
All right. Here it goes. That's it, Frank. Right in here, boy. Here it comes. Swing.
Oh, too bad.
My word. Amazing. I'm afraid I could never hit that.
Well, don't worry, Ed. Lots of experienced ball players can't either. Oh, never mind, Ed. You're not interested in learning to hit anyhow just yet. Let's see that pitching arm of yours.
Oh, yes. May I see the ball?
Oh, here you are. Well, let me bat against him, Frank. Here, take the mitt. You can catch.
All right. How far back do I stand?
Well, keep walking until we tell you to stop. Let's see that bat now. Oh, that's the spot, Ed, right there. Now try to get the ball over the plate now. Use my mitt as a target.
Righto. But tell me, should I try to keep Bart from hitting the ball?
That's the idea. If you can do it. But the ball has to cross over the plate between his shoulders and his knees. Otherwise, it's a bad pitch.
Oh, I see. It's rather a tall order, isn't it? Well, here goes.
Watch this, Frank. I bet it'll be good. Careful, it might throw wild. I'll be ready for it. Go ahead, Ed.
Very well. Coming at you.
Hey! What happened? Beauty!
You missed it by 3 feet, Bart.
Well, that was a lucky pitch. Try another. Go ahead, Ed. Same time.
Righto.
I'll drive this one across the street.
Here we go.
Again, he did it again.
Well, I'll be. Good work, Ed. That was a great curve. What's going on here? Could have sworn I was going to hit that one. Try it again. All right, once more, Ed.
My word. How many chances does the batsman get in this game?
3 strikes allowed, Ed.
But he hasn't struck it once.
No, I will this time. Go ahead, throw.
Very well. Ready? Here we go.
That's enough.
They just struck him out.
I did. Is that considered sporting?
It's considered darn good pitching. What do you say, Mike? I don't know what to say. I was hitting pretty well in batting practice today. My timing must be off. There's nothing wrong with your timing. Ed, come in here. Where did you learn to throw a curved ball like that? I never saw anything like it.
The curve? Well, I learned that from an Australian chap at Oxford. I've got to be quite a hand at throwing a boomerang.
A boomerang?
Oh, yes, Inza. The Aborigines in Australia use them all the time.
I thought a boomerang was only a toy.
Oh, no, not at all. As a matter of fact, it's a very effective weapon. They use them for hunting game. There's a certain knack to throwing one, a certain twist you give it.
Huh?
I simply use the same technique for throwing the baseball.
Well, what do you say now, Frank? You think the coach would be interested in it?
I certainly do. Look, I'm going to have a talk with him right now. Perhaps I can fix it so that you can make the trip to Boston with us tomorrow. How about it?
Why, that'd be wonderful. That'll insist on going, and I'm sure, and if there's any chance of my playing in the game...
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't say that. The chances are the coach won't trust you in a game for a few weeks.
No,
Well, at least you could travel with the team. That's better than nothing. After all, even Frank doesn't pitch in every game.
And even though you don't play, your father will have the satisfaction of seeing you with the team.
I must say, that's awfully sporting of you, Frank. I really don't know how to thank you.
Don't try. If that pitch of yours is as good as I think it is, we'll be thanking you in a few weeks. Won't we, Bart? Bart? Huh?
My goodness, Bart, what's got into you? You act like you're in a daze or something.
Well, no wonder I struck out. Who ever heard of a boomerang pitch?
I'm so glad the coach agreed to let Ed come along on this trip, Frank.
Well, as a matter of fact, he thought it was a good idea. The only way Ed will ever learn baseball in a hurry is to be exposed to it. I think we've got a discovery on our hands, all right. By the end of the season, he'll be a big help.
It's a shame he couldn't get into this game today, though.
Oh, he's not ready for that by a long shot, is it? Ed's got to learn variety before he'll be able to last a whole game.
Well, anyhow, it's nice that the coach let him come along. See how proud his father is of it?
I sure did. He seems to be a fine gentleman, doesn't he?
Awfully nice. So fond of his son. It's really a... Oh, wait, here they come.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, Miss Bennett. Gentlemen, how do you do, sir? Well, we were just talking about the baseball team, sir.
Yes, baseball. An extraordinary game from all I hear. I'm afraid I've been boring my son with countless questions about it. I wish he weren't so confounded modest. Never seems to want to discuss it.
Really, that often. Well, you learn the game much faster by watching it, Mr. Palmer.
Yes, I thank you, sir. I expect to learn a great deal from watching today's contest. I've waited a long time.
Yes, Father, about that business of yours, shouldn't we do something about that? Well, wouldn't you like to join us, sir? We'll talk baseball to you and to your heart's content.
I'd like nothing better, gentlemen, but I see the train is slowing down, and I want Ed to get off and dispatch a telegram for me. Business, you know. Will you excuse us?
Of course, sir. See you later, Ed. Right-ho.
Poor Ed. He's so afraid of making a mistake in front of his father.
Well, if Ed has done any explaining of baseball, I feel sorry for the old gentleman.
What's the station, Frank? Doesn't seem to be much of a town.
Well, it's probably just a whistle stop. We've still got quite a way to go before we reach Boston. In that case, I think I'll take myself a cat nap. Remember what the coach said. We've got a big afternoon in store for us. Hey, Bart. Wonder how long we're going to stop here. Oh, I don't know. Oh, here's the coach. Maybe he knows. Hi, Coach.
All right. Very well. Everything under control?
Oh, yes, sir, but we were just wondering how long we're going to be in this station.
That's why I came back here to check. They were supposed to lay over for 10 minutes, but the conductor just told me we're pulling out in a minute or two. I didn't want to take a chance of having any of you boys caught off the train. So, I'll get back to my car.
It's a lucky thing we didn't get off to stretch our legs. We might have been stranded.
Oh, my goodness, I just remembered. What about Ed?
Hey, that's right. He's probably sending that telegram for his father. Good night. He's liable to be left here. We better see if we can catch him. Come on, Bart.
Shall I come too?
No, Ansel, you better wait. I'll be right back.
All right. But don't miss the train yourself.
Oh, we won't. Well, he might be right here in the station. I hope so. We haven't got time to go looking for him. According to the coach, we have a minute or two. Let's see. Nobody in here but the station master. Maybe he came. Hey, mister.
Young fella, what's on your mind?
We're looking for one of the passengers, a young man about my height. He got off the train to send a telegram.
Oh, that one.
You saw it?
Sure, I saw him. Come in here wanting me to send a telegram. Of course, I told him I couldn't do anything in the time.
But,
I told him he'd have to go to the regular telegraph office down the road. Oh. It's funny how people think they can use the railroad.
Didn't he actually go down the road to the telegraph office?
Well, sure, I reckon he did.
Oh, that's great. He'll miss the train for sure.
Miss the train?
Yeah.
Why should he? You've got a good 8 minutes before she pulls out. Got all the time in the world to get down there and back. Why, shucks, when I was a little sparrow, I could have made it.
You don't understand, sir. The train's pulling out in a minute or two.
Who said so?
The conductor.
Stuff and nonsense. The train is due to lay over here for 10 minutes. Says so right there in this timetable.
Huh?
Yeah, I can show you.
The conductor said that the schedule's been changed.
I don't pay any attention to him.
Don't pay attention?
No, that's old Hap Bailey. He's always trying to hurry people. That train won't pull out of here until the 10 minutes pass. You mark my word.
Well, then maybe we've got time to get Ed, Bart. What do you say?
Sure you got time. But you want to use it all up if you stand here join. That's the trouble with the folks today. Always talking instead of doing something.
Yeah.
Well, you taking my day.
Well, we'll take a chance. Where is this telegraph office?
Huh? Oh, the telegraph office. Yeah, right up the road there, just like I said, boys. You can't miss it.
All right, thanks a lot. Come on, Bart. Let's find Ed and get him back on the train. Well, that was certainly a wild goose chase. Ed wasn't there, hadn't been there. I wonder where he went. Well, maybe he changed his mind, didn't send the telegram after all. Anyway, we better get back to the train. Hey, they're not going to pull out now, are they? I don't know. We better start running. Come on. It's pulling out. Green flag. We can just catch the rear car. Let's go. Oh, hey, Frankie's hurt. I must have stepped on a loose stone. Go on, Bart. Catch it. I'll leave you here. Get up. We can still make it. All right. Oh, what's the matter?
I turned my ankle. You go on. Oh. No, it's too late. We've missed it. This is a fine miss. What are we going to do now? I don't know about you, but I'm going back to that station master and give him a piece of my mind. Come on.
Hello. What's the trouble?
I'm Frank and Bart with you?
With me? No, I thought they were back in the other car with you.
Didn't they find you back there at the station?
Well, no, of course not. As a matter of fact, I didn't get off. Dad changed his mind and decided to wait until we got to Boston to send the wire. Why, what's happened?
Oh, my goodness, this is terrible.
What's this that's so terrible, Miss Burridge?
Oh, Coach, I was just going to look for you. About Frank and Bart.
Frank and Bart? Now what's happening?
They thought Mr. Palmer here was going to miss the train back there at the station, and they got out to look for him. The train pulled out without him.
What's this? They aren't on the train?
No, sir.
I warned them we were leaving in less than a minute. What in thunder were they thinking of?
Oh, Miss Burridge just explained, sir. They're afraid I was going to miss the train, and they got off to look for me.
Just a minute. You're the one Frank spoke to me about last night, aren't you? This so-called pitching discovery of his?
Yes, sir. Ed Palmer.
Are you sure those boys didn't miss this train deliberately?
Deliberately? What on earth do you mean, Coach?
Well, Frank seemed pretty anxious to get this boy on the team right away.
Well, I can explain that, sir. It's because of my father. He's coming to this game, and his heart is set on seeing me play.
Oh, I thought it would be something like that. By heaven,
Now, just a minute, Coach. Frank Bart wouldn't do a thing like that on purpose.
Of course they wouldn't.
I hope not. Because if they have, they won't play on another team of mine, I can promise you that. They know that without Merriwell, I'm in a spot for pitchers.
I'm positive they would never deliberately miss a game, whatever the reason.
Maybe not. But if they don't get to Boston in time to play, they needn't show up for any more games. And that's final. Hey, mister, do you know what you...
missed the train. Yeah, well, what do you know about that?
It's your fault we missed it. You said it wouldn't pull out for another 8 minutes. That's what we get for not listening to the conductor.
Hey, old Hap Bailey, I don't listen to him. He never gets anything right.
Well, it was right this time. That's all we care about. Now, when's the next train through here for Boston?
For Boston? Well, let's see now. I'll be one long here in 15 minutes.
Oh, that's fine. You'll get on it.
No, you won't.
What?
That is, I would be one long if this was Sunday, but it ain't.
Oh, no.
Sir. Looks like the next one through here is at 4:30.
Oh,
usually late, too. Old man Jenkins is the engineer. And
well, never mind about the engineer. You mean the next train through here is 4:30?
Later. Like I said, it's never on time.
That's wonderful. Just wonderful. Now we missed the game. Now, look here. You got us into this. And you've got to get us out. We have to be in Boston in less than an hour.
Less than an hour? I'm afraid that can't be done, Sonny. The train you just missed won't get there much before that. And not so all fired important about getting to Boston. I went up there a couple of times once myself. Didn't care to talk about it.
We've got a baseball game to play there. We have to make it.
Baseball?
Yes.
You mean you go all the way up there just to play a game? Well, I know.
Never mind why we want to get there. The fact remains you made us miss our train. Come on, Frank. We can't get anywhere here. Maybe we can hire a carriage. That won't do, Bart. A horse and carriage wouldn't get us there anywhere near in time. I guess you're right. I don't suppose there's an automobile in this place.
Did you say automobile?
Yes. Do you know one who owns one?
Why, sure I do. Me?
Wow.
Yeah, I bought it from a fellow who used to work over at the mills. Yes, he was leaving town, and he had to share automobile, a Navy or something. That's the name of it. And he wanted to sell it. Well, as soon as I heard...
Oh, wait. Will you rent it to us?
No, sir, I should say not. I don't let anybody drive that thing but me. You gotta know how to handle it. Yeah, she's more serious in lots of ways than a horse.
Yes.
Now, you take the other
We'll pay anything you ask.
Really?
Then you'll rent it to us?
Well, no, I don't have to do it.
What's the use?
But I tell you what I will do. I'll drive you up to Boston myself.
But what about leaving the station?
Oh, that's all right. Oh, let Begley from up the signal tower. He'll be along here in a minute, and he'll take over till I get back. All I got to do is just leave a note for him.
You mean we can leave right now?
I reckon so.
Oh, good, then let's go.
You like old Ed Begley, though. That is, if you want to make...
I don't want to...
I'm a talkative old cuss, but as honest as the day is long.
Never mind old Ed Begley. Crank up that car of yours and get us into Boston just as fast as you can make it. We've got to get there before the game is over.
You'll have to get that batting order in if you don't want to forfeit the game, Coach. I can't hold it up another minute.
All right, Ump. I'll get it to you.
Better be quick about it.
Fine mess. Oh, Palmer.
Yes, Coach. What do you want?
How is your arm? You think you can handle a full 9 innings?
Oh, yes, sir. You don't have a thing to worry about. I've been studying the rules all the way from New Haven.
Oh, a fine thing. I have to start a pitcher who isn't even sure he knows how the game is played.
Oh, don't worry, Coach. You just watch me. I'll have these fellas all thrown first score.
Huh?
Oh, maybe the terms are all wrong, but wait until they try to hit my boomerang pitch.
I thought we'd never get going. Well, we're making good time now. How long before we'll be in Boston, Sheriff?
Oh, now, son, that just depends. We're scorching along at close to 25 miles an hour. Well, you can't keep a pace like that forever. Something bound to give. Yeah, good anyhow.
Oh, wait, there's a signpost back. Boston's 50 miles. Oh, that's not so bad. At least we've got a fighting chance to make part of the game.
I sure you have. But then you can't never tell about these here automobiles. Well, I recollect one time I had to get over the dead in a hurry. I had to get wild just now.
Yeah.
There's something to do with the 6 car we had indeed. Anyhow, we was scorching along just about like we do now.
Hey, what's happening?
Well, what do you know about that? Same thing happened like this at the time I was telling you about it. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's great. Now, look, we can't afford to lose another minute. Come on, boys. Let's get this thing started.
Right.
Hey, wait a minute, son. What are you doing?
Don't worry, sir. We know a little about motors. We're going to get it started for you.
No, you don't need to bother with that, boys. Here, I'll show you something.
Well, what are you going to do?
Now, you just watch. I've been through this plenty of times before. Stand back now so you won't get hurt.
Hey, you're not going to hit the engine with that crank hammer.
You bet your boots I am. Here goes.
Oh, what good do you think that'll do?
Now, you just watch. Now then, crank her up.
All right. I'll try it.
That's your baby. I told you. You run like a top now. Climb back in, boy.
Well, come on, Bart. Don't just stand there. We got to make tracks.
Thank you.
I don't understand the game, but the boy does seem to be doing splendidly.
Yes, Mr. Palmer. You should be proud of him. Come on, Ed. Don't walk in.
Tell me, Miss Burridge, how long does this game go on?
But this could be the last inning if only Ed can get the next 3 batters out and still hold the lead we have.
My word, I'm afraid it's all much too complicated for me. It's wanted to me that Ed can understand it.
So what did you need to? Don't lose it now, Ed. Yeah, I'm afraid he's beginning to pine.
I shouldn't wonder.
We're here to relieve him.
Relieve him? You need to say you're permitted to remove one bowler and substitute another for the same game.
Oh, wait, here's the next hitting. Let's see what he does. Throw the boomerang pitch, Ed!
Boomerang? Don't tell me you're allowed to throw those at the batsman.
Oh, wait, here it comes.
What happened?
Oh, now the time runs on third and there's no one out.
Is that dangerous? I see, look there. What is that new coach doing walking out on the field of play?
He's going to talk to Ed. I hope they don't have to take him out of the game. They knew what they were saying right now.
What's happened, Palmer? What's happened to that jug-handled curve of yours?
I don't know, sir. I can't seem to make it work any longer.
Well, I don't wonder. You've pitched a great game, boy, up to now, but you're getting tired. I should have taken you out last inning.
Oh, let me finish the game, sir. I'll get these last 3 batsmen out somehow.
Oh, I don't know. You'll probably do as well as the other boys on the bench. If only I had... Say, what's all that commotion back at the grandstand, huh?
It sounds as though someone's having trouble with a motor car there.
All right, Yale. Play ball. Oh, well, Palmer, do the best you can. If we lose the game now, it certainly isn't your fault.
Yes, sir.
Out! Oh, it's still in time! Good Lord, it's Merriwell and Hart. What happened to you two? We're stranded back there, sir. We made it the best way we could. What's the score? We're trying to protect a 1-run lead with none out and a man on third. Do you think you can do anything about it? What about Ed? Well, he's already pitched the full length innings. The boy is tired. Well, then let's have your glove, Ed. Get the catcher's mask right. We'll get the side out. You do it very well. You haven't had time to warm up. That's all right, sir. Ed's been showing them his boomerang pitch. Now let's see what they can do with something old-fashioned like the double shoot. Come on, play ball! Come on, Frank. One more out to go. Show this man your stuff. Go, Frank, boy. Get up, baby. Get in the ball, Frank, boy. Now let him try another one in here. That's the time. He can't hit you. Here we go. Go, Frank. Out, beauty, Frank. One more strike and we've got him, Frank. Come on now. Let him see the real double shoot. Here we go. Hit it. All the way, Frank. It's the ball game. Yale wins.
Oh, my goodness, what a finish that was. He struck out all three of those men, Franklin, without even warming up.
Well, it's Ed who deserves the credit for that win. Sure. From all I hear, he pitched a great game out there. Oh, I'll say he did. Holding that Holy Cross team for 8 innings. Yes, my boy, I was really proud of him. Oh, thanks, Dan. Oh, you should be proud of him, Mr. Palmer. Pitching a game like that his first time on a baseball field. Well, that's all right, Miss Buddard. I know all about Edward's little deception. You good? Yes, I had a long chat with your baseball coach after the game. Oh, and you don't mind that about my attending? Oh, mind? Why, my boy, it made your performance all the more remarkable. I'm twice as proud of you as I was before. Well, I'm glad to see nobody missed the train this time. Thank you for station agent. Well, what are you doing on the train? I thought you were driving back in your car. I was, but I run into a little trouble. But don't tell me it broke down again. Yep. Of course, that didn't worry me none at first. I just got out and touched it and let it crack with a crank on it. But then it happened. What happened? Their motor busted clean too. Yes, sir, you can say what you want to, but they don't build things anymore the way they used to. They certainly don't.
And so ends another exciting adventure with Frank Merriwell, the loved hero of American fiction, brought to you in a new series of stories by the National Broadcasting Company. And be sure to listen again next week at the same time when Frank Merriwell returns in another of his celebrated exploits. Frank is played by Lawson Zerbe, Bart is Hal Studer, and Inza is Elaine Ross. Other members of the cast were Hedley Rennie, John McGovern, Roy Fant, and Lou Hall. Original music is by Paul Taubman. The Adventures of Frank Merriwell is written by Ruth and Gilbert Braun and William Welch, and the entire production is under the direction of Ed King. This is Mel Brand speaking. He'll tell you that the American Red Cross field directors are stationed with American troops all over the world. And the veteran can tell you how the Red Cross handles personal family problems, and how the Red Cross serves as a contact between the serviceman and civilian life. The Red Cross is on duty in all service hospitals, too, giving special care to the injured. All these services are a great help to our men on duty. But the fact remains that it takes a lot of dollars to provide the kind of help the Red Cross gives. The goal for 1949 is $60 million, and that means that every single American must dig down and give something. Won't you give as much as you can to the American Red Cross Fund in 1949?
76 years ago, March 19th, 1949, The Adventures of Frank Merriwell here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And let's go to Pine Ridge, Arkansas in just a moment and see what's going on with Lum and Abner, because the boys are rich, or at least they think.
It's a strange quirk of human nature, but most of us never think, except in the most abstract way, of an accident ever happening to us. It's always the other fellow who's involved. But nevertheless, accidents go right on happening at an ever-increasing, alarming rate. And it can't always be happening only to the other fellow. For instance, 1 out of 5 families will have a traffic accident this year. Think of that. And how can you be sure you won't be that one? Well, there's one way of piling up some percentages in your favor. A few simple precautions will guarantee better accident odds for your family. For one thing, remember it's not always easy to stop quickly in wet weather. Drive so that you can stop when and if you want to. And always drive with a clean, clear windshield. There are a great many safety precautions, and for the most part, it's simply a matter of applying common sense to driving. Just remember to drive as if your life depended on it, because it does.
All righty, let's get back to this episode of Lum and Abner as we go back 83 years, March 19th, 1942. Abner and Cedric think they're rich. Well, and you know why. And if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm not going to spoil it, but let's listen.
The makers of Alka-Seltzer bring you Lum and Abner. Say, friends, if any of you are caught with a cold right now, we hope you're letting Alka-Seltzer ease up much of the distress it's causing you. You'll really welcome the comforting relief Alka-Seltzer can give you for that dull, ache-all-over, feverish feeling of a cold. Of course, you want to take these common-sense precautions, too. Get more rest than usual. Watch your diet. Get your vitamins, dress sensibly, and avoid drafts. But don't forget to take Alka-Seltzer for the genuine relief it can offer for so much of your cold discomfort. Use Alka-Seltzer as a gargle, too, for your throat if it's sore and raspy from your cold. Honestly, you'll just never know how much better Alka-Seltzer can help you feel until you try it. Now, if you haven't tried Alka-Seltzer, get a package of these modern, effervescent tablets right away from any drugstore and have Alka-Seltzer ready in your home next time a cold strikes. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, Abner has learned the secret of Cedric's sudden wealth. With the aid of the keys Diogenes Smith dropped in Cedric's car, Cedric took Abner back to the feed room and showed him how the printing press turned out not pamphlets, but crisp new $10 bills. He's sure that it is some magic power that enables him to do this. And after Abner tried the printing press with the same results, he was sure that he, too, possessed this magic power. As we look in on the little community today, we find these two big financiers in the Jot-'em Down store poring over the mail-order catalog. Listen.
Let's see, tennis racket. Have we got a tennis racket wrote down on the order blank, Cedric? Or Mr. Weehunt?
Yes, Mom, we still done got that, Mr. Peabody.
Oh.
Got a half dozen sorted sizes, don't you recollect?
Yeah, good.
Right after my football pants there.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Let's see. Hey, doggies, here's a picture in the catalog, some shoes I'd love to get for my woman, Elizabeth. White ones that's laced up nice and high. She could wear 'em for Sunday, be awful pretty.
Which ones do you mean there?
Yeah, these right there. Only trouble with them, they got a pair of roller skates fastened on the bottom, but I reckon she could take a hammer and knock them things off of there.
Hey, them looks good, don't they?
Yeah, awful pretty.
Believe I'll get you to order me a pair of them, too.
You?
Yes, Mom. Well, now I'm going to leave the roller skates on mine. Boy.
Leave 'em on?
Yes, Mom. Be awful handy, I believe. Just get up in the morning and put on your shoes, and you'd have your roller skates on all ready to go. Just skate right out to the dining room and eat your breakfast.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, well, Cedric, I don't know what you'd want with roller skates, old. You done got a automobile, and you ordered 2 bicycles so far, and a motorcycle and a scooter. What do you need with roller skates?
Well, I just like to travel, Mr. Abner. I'm sort of a gypsy, I believe.
Gypsy?
Yes, Mom. I believe that's what I am. See if there's any gypsy costumes in the catalog.
Well, I don't reckon there is, but I'll look and see. I see, Shrek, I better look down in the index here. Might be easier to find it that way.
Might be under gypsy suits.
Yeah, let me see.
Might get a zoot suit, too, while I'm at it.
Gypsy. How do you spell that?
See, I ain't for sure. All I know for sure is that it starts with a J.
Well, natural, I know that myself. Let's see, J. Jackets, jerseys, jewelry, jigsaws.
I'd have a jigsaw, too.
Jumper patterns. No gypsy, Cedric.
Oh, doggone it anyway.
Well, I'm glad they ain't. You couldn't go running around no gypsy outfit no way, Cedric. Besides, I'm getting tired of writing down stuff on these order blanks. I believe we ordered enough for today. Let's quit.
Oh, how much we got ordered there so far?
Well, let's see. Them 2 pair of shoes there. Them things is $7.95 a pair. Put them down.
How much there?
Let's see now. 7 and 4 is 14.
Wish there's more than that.
Carry 1. 1 and 9 is 10. And 4 and
I'd like
3.
to have a gypsy suit, though. I had an uncle once. He was a gypsy. Leastways, I've heard Mama say he was one.
And carry
Traveled
2.
all over everywhere. Never done a day's work in his whole life, Mama said.
6 and
That's what I like about gypsies.
7.
They don't have to work.
Let's see. Comes to exactly $723.95, Cedric.
Oh, shucks. I thought sure we'd get up to $1,000 today.
Yeah, well, we never made it, and I'm tired of writing. We'll just have to get a mail order catalog, more expensive stuff in it, that's all.
Pioneers and stuff like that.
Yeah. I reckon till then we'll just be satisfied toward this little old cheap stuff.
Yeah, reckon so.
As soon as Lom gets back, why, we'll go over and mail this order in. But don't let him know what we're doing, though.
Oh, no, Mama, I won't.
He's starting getting curious right away, want to know what our secret magic power is.
He does, huh?
And, he's getting awful curious.
I do know.
I dropped a couple of $10 bills out of my pocket yesterday, and Lum want to know where I got them and how I got them and all such as that.
You never told him, did you?
Oh, of course not. I never breathed a word of it. I wish we had magic power to turn out nickels and dimes on that printing press, too, though, instead of just $10 bills.
Oh, I'd rather have the big money. I just wished it was $100 bills instead of $10 bills. Wouldn't have to do so much printing.
Well, it's nice, all right, but I ain't got a single nickel. And sometimes you need hard money that way. Now, like this morning, for instance, there was a feller on the street selling balloons, and I wanted to get one for little Pearl, but feller never had no change for a $10 bill, so I just couldn't get it.
Why didn't you just give him a $10 bill and tell him keep the change? That's what I always do.
Could I reckon now that you brung it up. I just ain't used to throwing money away like that.
Oh, it don't make no difference. We can get all we want.
Oh, yeah.
Unless we run out of magic. That's what I'm feared of.
Yeah, wish I'd have thought of it.
All I want's that big money. How much is my share of that stuff we ordered there?
Oh, I don't know. Don't worry about it, though, Cedric. I'll pay for all this. You paid for them things we ordered yesterday.
Well, I want to pay for this, too. I love to spend it. Here, I'll give you $1,000. That ought to cover my part.
Well, all right, if you insist. Much obliged, Mr. Wee, huh? Here's $2,000 for you.
Boy, this is fun.
Yeah.
Mr. Peabody, here's $3,000. Wait a minute, though. I ain't got no more money with me.
Huh?
Reckon we better go print up some more.
Oh, no, we can't do it now, Cedric.
Why not?
Well, we gotta stay here and watch the store for one thing, and besides, I don't think we ought to print none in the daytime, 'cause other folks might see us and discover our magic power.
That's right, ain't it?
Oh, gotta be careful.
I hate to have magic power and not get to use it when I want to, though.
Well, now, just be patient, Cedric. We can keep on printing it up at night like we done last night. We can make enough money that way.
Yeah, but I don't much like doing that at night and then staying around the store all day, too. Don't get no chance to spend our money that way.
No, doggy, that's right, ain't it? We sure don't.
I like to get out and travel. I'm just sort of a gypsy, I reckon. I had an uncle once, and Mama said he was...
Wait a minute, Cedric. I believe you've given me an idea. Yes, sir. I believe we're wasting our time around this store.
He was a gypsy, Mama said. Never done no work 'tall, just traveled around everywhere.
Just wasting our time is what we're doing. Cedric, we're going to quit working. We don't need the money. We're rich.
Mom, we sure are.
We'll just give the whole store to Lum, the library, too. Give him everything.
Oh, don't give him the printing press, though.
Oh, no. Of course, it wouldn't do him no good, no way. All he could print on it would be pamphlets, 'cause he ain't got magic power like us.
Just me and you's got it. I kind of feel sorrowful for him.
Oh, it's a shame. Dogged, I wonder what we ever done to get to be magic. Reckon that feller Aladdin could have been one of our relates.
I don't know about him, but I know I'm related to my uncle, though, one that was a gypsy.
Was he sort of Aladdin?
No, he was a gypsy.
Well, I mean, did he have magic power?
Oh, I don't know. I never heard Mama say, but I know he traveled a lot and never done no work, so he must have got his money some way like that.
I know you, Cedric, that's it. He must have been magic just as sure as the world, and that's where you get it from.
You reckon so, sure enough?
Why, sure. That power was handed down in the family. That's exactly. Wait a minute, though. What about me?
Mom?
How did I get it? I ain't in your family. Or leastways, I don't think I am.
Well, if I got it from my uncle, maybe I handed it on to you some way or other.
Doggy, you did have it first, didn't you? I wonder... Oh, no, I couldn't be.
Couldn't be what, Mr. Evans?
You couldn't be my uncle. You're too young.
Oh, yes, Mom.
Of course, now, I recollect to Aunt Elizabeth that was younger than a niece of hers. I never know exactly how it come about, but... I Doggy, let me look at you, Cedric.
Look at me. What for?
Well, Uncle Cedric!
Oh.
That sure sounds funny, Uncle Cedric.
I believe I like Mr. Weehunt a lot better, though. Sounds like I'm a lot richer.
Wait a minute. There comes Lump. Hide that money. Put it in your pocket. Don't let him see it, Cedric.
No, Mom, I won't.
Get it in there. Quick. Better let me tell him about us quitting, too. Don't you try to do it.
Don't let him know about our magic power, though.
Oh, I ain't. Don't worry. Mind out. Here he comes.
Oh. Wonderful world, Mr. Lum.
Wonderful world.
A wonderful world.
Say it, Lum. Me and Cedric...
Has the mail come in yet today?
Yeah, but there weren't no mail for us. Cedric's over the post office a while ago.
Funny,
Say,
I
Lum...
thought maybe we'd get a hearing from Diogenes today.
Oh.
He said he'd be back in about a week, and here it is 2 weeks already.
Yeah.
You don't reckon nothing's happened to him, do you? An accident or something?
Oh, I don't think so. Say,
I seen
Lum...
that feller Adams down at the barber shop just now, and I asked him if he'd heard anything from Diogenes, and he tried to make out like he didn't know who I was talking about.
Well...
I told him, I said, you know good and well who Diogenes is, the old feller with the lantern looking for an honest man.
Say,
and he
Lum...
said, oh, him. No, I ain't heard from him lately, but I had a nice long letter from Napoleon the other day.
Well...
He's an awful tricky feller, that Adams.
Yeah, Lum, me and Cedric are quitting.
Sure, I could get him to admit he was a deputy for What'd you say? Quitting?
Yes, sir, we're quitting. We're going to give you the whole store and library and everything.
Wait a minute. What is this?
It's the truth, Lum. We figured you worked hard and you deserved to own all of it.
Yes, Mom, you worked hard, Mr. Lum.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
just a minute. What is all this prattle-prattle? If I take over the whole store, what are you two geniuses going to do?
Oh, we'll get along. We might just retire, I don't know.
We're going to be gypsies, I think.
Yeah, that's it. We're going to be gypsies.
And travel all over everywhere.
Oh, yeah, travel everywhere. New York, Little Rock, Africa, every place.
Now, just a minute. Don't forget you got to have money to do that.
Well, we got money, don't worry.
Now, listen, Abner, I know Cedric's got a lot of money. Where he gets it, I don't know. But I ain't going to let you go around spending it for him. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I ain't spending his money. I got money of my own. I can get more than Cedric if I want to. Fact is, I'm going to pay most of Cedric's expenses, and we're going on a trip right away.
Whereabouts you going?
Oh, New York, I think. I'll call the county seat right now and get us tickets on the most expensive train there is to New York.
Wait a minute. Not on this phone you ain't going to call.
Huh?
You ain't a partner here no more. Don't forget that. Go down to Luke Spears' restaurant if you want to call.
Well, all right, I will. Come on, Mr. Weehunt. I'll get the most expensive... Oh, wait a minute. That's a pay phone down there at Luke's, ain't it?
Yes, Mom.
Just a minute, Cedric. Lum.
Yeah?
Would you lend me a nickel to make a phone call?
Say, friends, here's something the folks down in Pine Ridge know, and thousands of folks the country over know it, too. Alka-Seltzer can make a big difference in the way you feel when you're troubled with so many of the common ailments that occasionally make life miserable. Now, whether it's a headache, an upset stomach, a touch of acid indigestion, muscular aches and pains, or cold distress that makes you feel miserable and down in the mouth, Alka-Seltzer offers you the kind of relief that can make you feel better in a hurry. And you really welcome the fast relief Alka-Seltzer offers, folks. And because you never know when you'll want it, in the middle of the night or first thing when you wake up in the morning, we suggest that you always keep a package of these friendly, dependable, effervescent tablets in your home and at your place of work, handy to help you get back on the happy side of life fast. Ask your druggist for a package or two of Alka-Seltzer tablets without further delay.
Did you notice that they've never asked anybody to break one of those $10 bills? They didn't. I think you figured out what's going on, I hope. From 83 years ago, March 19th, 1942, Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit us tomorrow for more comedy with Bob Hope, Fred Allen, and a quiz show, True or False, and Jack Webb in 1 out of 7. See you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.